Hey everybody, what's going on? Zachary Hall here. We've got severe weather, unfortunately, entering western Arkansas soon. This does include tornado warnings near Fort Smith. I'm going to get a couple things set up and we'll get started here. Arkansas is currently free of any warnings whatsoever, but that's about to change pretty quick. I wanted to go ahead and go live. One second. So unfortunately, I'm kind of in a unique situation where I only cover Arkansas weather. I don't cover Oklahoma, but I do have people who follow me in Oklahoma because they live right next to the Arkansas border. So sometimes I feel like it's kind of one of those things where when we start having these warnings in Oklahoma right on the Arkansas border, it's time to go live because the activity in eastern Oklahoma is about to move into western Arkansas, and some of this is strong. We have a tornado warning west of Fort Smith. We have two tornado warnings, actually. And this does not include the city of Fort Smith or Sebastian or Crawford counties yet. But if this continues, it will soon. So it's kind of one of those things where I feel like it's kind of necessary to go live and start referencing it because this is going to impact us soon. The circulation responsible for the tornado warning is right here, okay, southwest of Brent, Oklahoma. And then we also have a circulation just south of Interstate 40 near Vian, Oklahoma. Both of these circulations can have downstream impacts in Arkansas. So Sebastian, Crawford. I don't know about northwest Arkansas, like Washington County, southern sections of Washington County. I think the tornado threat is quite a bit lower up there than it is here near Fort Smith and Van Buren. Crawford County was added to the tornado watch. And then we also have severe thunderstorm warnings that go all the way from Tahlequah, Oklahoma, south to near Idabel. So that translates over to western Arkansas, of course, from DeQueen up to Mena, Waldron, Greenwood, Fort Smith, Cedarville, Alma. So regardless where you live in western Arkansas, specifically, the Fort Smith, maybe even up to Fayetteville, all the way down to darn near Texarkana, you're going to eventually deal with thunderstorms over the next hour or two. I do want to reference these storms down here too. I know that a lot of people in southwest Arkansas are likely wondering what to expect. You have strong storms to your west, strong thunderstorms here that are moving off to the east that will eventually impact southwest Arkansas, and that does include a tornado risk, okay? Columbia County was added to the latest tornado watch. I do want to add that in Crawford County, we've already discussed, was added to the watch as well. So those are new additions to the latest watches. Before we do get warnings added into added into Arkansas, I do want to go ahead and address the severe weather risk as a whole, because I know that some of you may not keep up with the weather during the day, and that's okay. It's my job to keep you informed. So real quick, I'm going to minimize the radar for just a moment and pull this risk up so I can show you, because I know that some of you might be watching and you live near Little Rock or eastern Arkansas or maybe far south Arkansas or north Arkansas, and you might be wondering what to expect where you live. So if I can get this to pull up. So I want to show you, first of all, just the generic severe weather risk for today. And this is kind of what we're expecting through the next few hours. The highest severe weather risk is from Fort Smith, in my opinion, from Fort Smith, Van Buren area down to Texarkana. You can see the enhanced risk, that's a level 3 of 5, the orange colors, and the yellow is a level 2 of 5. The risk is quite a bit lower in North Arkansas, Eastern Arkansas, and Southeast Arkansas today. So if you live west of El Dorado, Pine Bluff, and Little Rock, you have a little bit better of a risk today for some strong storms. And these storms, let me show you the tornado risk too. The tornado risk is also quite a bit higher today in southwest Arkansas, especially south of Fort Smith, near Mena, down to DeQueen, Foreman, Texarkana, area southwest of Arkadelphia. But the brown shading here is kind of like that mid-level tornado risk that goes all the way up to I-40 from Fort Smith to Little Rock and then down south. So a large chunk of the state has a chance for some strong storms today. And zooming out as a whole, you can see this blob of gross is just going to keep moving east. So it's going to eventually likely impact you. If you live in the state of Arkansas, there's a good chance you're going to observe rain and storms today. Some of you earlier than others. Of course, western Arkansas from Fort Smith down to Mena, northwest Arkansas included, rain and storms are moving in now. Within the next few 20 minutes, we're going to have this activity shifting into Arkansas little by little. So if you live in central Arkansas or south central Arkansas or maybe north central Arkansas, it might be a couple of hours. It might be closer to 3 to 4 p.m. Before this activity moves in and heads off to the east. And then eastern Arkansas will be later tonight. Harris says, chance for a bust. I mean, the severe weather risk isn't incredibly high today, Harris. Everyone's going to get rain and storms today, so I feel like the chances of that busting are pretty low. We're going to probably have some wind damage reports when everything's said and done, probably a few tornado warnings. I don't feel like the bust potential is real high right now, in my opinion. I wish it would. I wish it would just rain. Tired of this. I know everyone else is too. Cassie is asking about Van Buren. There's tornado warnings just to your west in Oklahoma. You can actually see the circulation there on reflectivity. This is the tornado warned circulation here near Brent, Oklahoma. And this is moving off to the east-northeast. Is going to cross I-40 between Muldrow and Salisal. Headed off towards Long and Remy. This is in Oklahoma, not in Arkansas, but it's getting close to Arkansas. It's right on the border. And there's another circulation there near Vian, headed off towards Pinhook Corners. Outside of the 2 red polygon tornado warnings, we have severe thunderstorm warnings that go from pretty much from Cedarville, west of Cedarville on the Oklahoma border all the way down. These warnings are going to be expanded into Arkansas. I would be surprised if the National Weather Service doesn't expand those warning polygons, the severe thunderstorms, that is, into a line, especially from Van Buren south. Kaylee says, how is Hot Springs today? When will it hit us? Probably closer to that 3 to 5 p.m. hour. Courtney says, I don't know why Franklin County is under a watch. You're under a tornado watch. It's because of the storms that are moving in now. Grimothy says, any concern for Greenwood? Yeah, you're under a tornado watch, so we'll have to watch the storms moving in here the next hour or so. Glenda says, what's the timing for White County? It's going to be a while. It's going to be probably 3 or 4 hours from now. Cole Irwin says, how is Greenwood? It's about to storm. Huntington, Dayton area, same thing, about to storm. North Little Rock, it's going to storm in North Little Rock, rain and storm, but it's going to be later. Tammy says, how long before it hits Alma? Not long. Storms are crossing into the state now. It's going to be within the hour. Evelyn says, is it a warning for Greenwood? Not yet. We'll see, though. I'm sure severe thunderstorm warning is probably coming for Greenwood soon. Sebastian County in general, not just Greenwood. Yes, Texarkana is under a tornado watch too. Miller County. Mountain Home is not under a tornado watch, but rain and storms are likely later. Jules says, so eastern Arkansas isn't going to have much of a concern at all. Right, yeah, the concern in eastern Arkansas is quite a bit lower today. Much higher in western Arkansas. Honest opinion on Hot Springs. Garland County is under a tornado watch, so we'll have to watch storms as they move in here over the next couple of hours. That's my honest opinion. I don't have a secret opinion or anything. Paragould, Arkansas, so that's in northeast Arkansas, guys. That's going to be later tonight, so not anytime soon. Gina said, yeah, that's a great question. Where's everyone viewing from? Yeah, let me know where you guys are watching from, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gina. I'm live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It's 1:15 p.m. We don't have any warnings in Arkansas yet, but that's coming. That's why I went ahead and went live. I know that the warnings are likely coming, and we have 2 tornado warnings in Oklahoma that aren't far from Fort Smith and Van Buren, so I wanted to kind of get ahead of that. Absolutely, yep. Looks like we got a good viewing in right now, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Just to kind of set things up, this isn't your traditional, strong line, crisp line of storms with 70-mile-an-hour winds on the front end. Some of you guys might observe rainfall ahead of anything strong. The problem is we have these embedded circulations. We had one earlier down here that didn't really have a warning. We've got one here near Brent, Oklahoma. Sorry, I don't know why my radar scope keeps doing that. You can see the circulation crossing I-40 now near Vian, a circulation here near Brent, Oklahoma. And if you flip to reflectivity, guys, it's just raining ahead of that. So if you do get a warning today, I would really encourage you not to be outside looking around because you're probably not going to be able to see much of anything. We're dealing with embedded circulations today that could produce quick tornadoes. Sometimes these circulations spin up quick and they're hard to spot. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know I do live in western Arkansas. I live near Fort Smith, so thunderstorms moving in here. So if I lose power or something because of the storms, I'll be up as quick as I can. But just know that that is a possibility. Diana says, do you think that rotation will move into Fort Smith? No, I don't think so. It looks like the circulation that's west of Fort Smith is going to track off to the east-northeast, more towards like Cedarville, areas north of Van Buren, up Highway 59, not in Fort Smith. We'll have to watch for any circulations to develop here southwest of Fort Smith. I'm in Russellville working, but I live in Van Buren. Should I go home? Cassandra, I mean, it's one of those things where you're safer in Russellville right now than Van Buren, who's about to get hit by storms. You're going to be driving into strong storms, so that's completely up to you. Yes, this activity, guys, will push into central Arkansas later. I have posts on my Facebook, guys, with explanations on this. This whole blob of gross is going to move east. So if you live in Little Rock, Hot Springs, Redfield, Conway, Searcy, it's going to eventually impact you later today. It's 1:17 now. If you live in central Arkansas, it might be closer to that 3 to 6 to 7 p.m. hour before it really shifts into central Arkansas. If you live in eastern Arkansas, it might be even later. The severe weather risk in central and eastern Arkansas, eastern Arkansas isn't as high today, but the severe weather concern to me today is kind of in this area. I feel like this is the most realistic concern for severe weather today, and the tornado concern is highest in this area. So, tornado concern highest here, severe weather in general here, lower risk areas here. Terrible drawing on the radar, I'm sorry, but that's kind of what we're dealing with, folks. And I mean, storms are imminently moving into Arkansas now. We already have thunderstorms moving into northwest Arkansas. Those are not severe. And then we've got the stronger storms from Fort Smith and Cedarville south into southwest Arkansas that are moving in soon as well. I would fully expect the severe thunderstorm polygons to be issued into Arkansas relatively soon. My plan for today, because I don't generally just stay live for severe thunderstorm warnings, or else I would be live all the time. I'm going to see how these storms move into western Arkansas and southwest Arkansas. If we have tornado warnings, I'll obviously stay live. But if we just have severe thunderstorm warnings, and it's something that I can just address on the Facebook page, I might do it that way. But we'll just kind of see how these storms evolve. Laney says, do we need to be sheltered in Muldrow? Yeah, you're under a tornado warning in Muldrow. So circulation is just southwest of you, right here near Brent. Muldrow's here, so certainly want to be sheltered. This circulation right here looks a little bit more defined. That just crossed Interstate 40 right here. This circulation just crossed Interstate 40 between Vian and McKee. You can see it right there. So that's interesting. I wonder, I don't see anything on the debris tracker, but I would be interested to see what that looks like if you could really see much of anything in all the rain. The storms are moving into Fort Smith. They're moving into Van Buren, Sebastian County. I can hear the thunder outside. It looks like storms are quite a bit more organized in southwest Arkansas, here south of Fort Smith towards Heavener, Oklahoma, between Heavener and Idabel, moving over this. This is a very rural area, and this is going to continue moving into western Arkansas soon. There was some circulations earlier down here. I don't see anything crazy to find that I was watching, but there's likely going to be some stronger wind gusts associated with storms today too. No, Heavener is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Amanda says, is Van Buren going to need to take shelter? We don't have any warnings in Van Buren right now, but if you get a tornado warning, then yes, we'll have to take some shelter in Van Buren. So what time do you think it's going to move into Paragould? Later tonight. It would probably be after 6 to 8 p.m., I think. I mean, that's all the way across the other side of the state, so quite a ways from now. Yeah, Jenny, I think storms will weaken later tonight as they move east. I think they might maintain their intensity as they get closer to like Little Rock, and then as they get into central eastern parts of the state, probably start going downhill. Bentonville's going to observe thunderstorms over the next hour, but they're not severe right now, and I don't expect them to be. What am I thinking about Mountainburg? Crawford County is under a tornado watch. They went ahead and added Crawford. If you're in Mountainburg, So Mountainberg's here. This is a great question. Mountainberg's here. You've got circulations here to your southwest, so might miss you to the north, but if anything develops to the south, we'll have to watch that. So Crawford County's under a tornado watch. If you're in Mountainberg, you need to watch the weather here over the next hour or so. If you get a warning on your phone, obviously we'll discuss it. Justin, if you're in Muldrow, you need to be sheltered. You're under a tornado warning. During Greenwood school traffic, yeah, unfortunately, we're getting pretty close to that 3 p.m. hour, so somebody watching this is probably going to have to deal with storms during school pickup. So Montgomery County's under a tornado watch. Alicia is asking about the timing for Hot Springs. It'll be within the next few hours. I would say that 3 to 6 p.m. hour probably. Storms are moving pretty slow. They're just now about to cross the border. It's almost 1:30 now, so the next hour and a half, 2 hours should be in Hot Springs. Mulberry is under a tornado watch, yes. Yeah, guys, we can go over that real quick. A lot of people asking if they're under a watch. I've got a map that I can show you. Give me just a second. I'll pull it up. It's not the most HD map, but it'll do the job. If you guys will give me just a second here. So, if you live in a county shaded in yellow, you are under a tornado watch. So, from Crawford County to Sebastian over to, I apologize. I said Franklin was under a tornado watch. You're not under a tornado watch. Logan County, Yell County, down to Garland, Hot Spring, Clark County, and that goes all the way down to Columbia County, which was added recently. And then, of course, all of southwest Arkansas. If you live anywhere in southwest Arkansas, you are under a tornado watch through this evening. So hopefully that clears up any questions. I don't know if they will issue more watches in central Arkansas later. It's possible, but I don't have that information. There is no tornado watches in northwest Arkansas or north central Arkansas, just flash flood related hazards. Unfortunately, we could deal with some flooding with heavier rainfall. So that's kind of where we're at. Counties in yellow, tornado watch. So Mena, Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Texarkana, Fort Smith, Van Buren. Good chunk of the state. So the National Weather Service still has not expanded the warning polygons into Arkansas, but like I said earlier, I think that's coming soon. I heard the sirens are going off in Fort Smith. Well, they shouldn't be. There's no tornado warning in Fort Smith. That must be a malfunction or something. What are things looking like for Alma, says Hannah. We have storms moving in soon, some which could be strong. I would expect severe thunderstorm warnings to be issued soon for a large part of Sebastian, Crawford, maybe even Scott counties. Oh, Weatherman Whittles. That's a good question. Weatherman Whittles is asking about the instability, which is very important for severe weather, thunderstorms, tornadoes. And I can show you guys what the atmosphere looks like if you care, but we don't have any warnings for the brief time. But I can show you guys kind of what we're referencing here. A large part of the state has surface-based instability to work with, and you can see these values here, these contoured values of 2000 in southwest Arkansas. Those are stronger values. Thunderstorm fuel is what this is called. Whereas in Oklahoma, where the rain moved through this morning, there is no instability. You can literally see there's a huge hole here because of the rain that cools the atmosphere, settles everything down, where here in Arkansas, we haven't had that. So these storms are highlighted here in green and blue are moving to the east into Arkansas, where a large part of the state is quite a bit more unstable or conducive for thunderstorms. We have temperatures in central Arkansas in the low 80s, 81, 81, 83, 83, with dew points up into the mid 60s. So certainly conducive for storms, severe weather. I think we'll have some severe weather today. Obviously, storm mode. I'm a huge fan of using storm mode as a forecast. Is a little bit messy, or maybe even a lot of bit messy. You can see it just looks like a giant blob of gross just moving into western Arkansas, instead of us having isolated supercells to deal with, which generally produce more tornadoes and hail. But with that being said, today it was expected for there to be embedded circulations, and that's exactly what we've dealt with. Looks like there's another one down here that doesn't have a warning in LaFleur County, Oklahoma, or I can't remember what county that is in Oklahoma. You've got another circulation here that's kind of broadened out. The circulation that just crossed I-40 northwest of Salisal is right here. And folks, these could eventually impact western Arkansas. They aren't right now, but they will likely do so soon. So even though the storm mode isn't that classic supercell look, you can have embedded storms that spin, produce tornadoes, and cause problems. Looking at southwest Arkansas, where I think, in my opinion, which the National Weather Service shares this opinion as well, this area of the state, I think, is going to have some more concerning tornado risk. These storms look more organized. There's quite a bit more instability to work with down here in northeast Texas and southwest Arkansas. You can already see these storms near Avery, Texas, and Mount Pleasant and Sulphur Springs. This is moving out to the east. It's going to impact Texarkana, Ashdown, DeQueen, parts of Miller, Lafayette, Columbia County, Hempstead County. So, folks, if you're watching this, I know it's not storming in any of the areas that we're talking about. If you're in Hope or Prescott, Nashville, Ashdown, Texarkana, but it's going to soon, within the next couple of hours, and there will be a tornado risk with these storms. Maybe even a substantial tornado risk if things align perfectly. If they don't, obviously tornadoes will still be possible, but hopefully that doesn't happen. But these storms just look more organized than the activity that's moving into western Arkansas by Fort Smith and whatnot. We do have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the day, and it's for Polk County. And that it does include Wicks, Grannis, Hatfield Cove, and Vandervoort, mainly western sections of Polk County. And I'll read the National Weather Service chat text with you guys. The National Weather Service is referencing that severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from 10 miles south of Octavia to 16 miles southwest of Vandervoort to 11 miles northeast of Broken Bow. And they're referencing Oklahoma there, especially near Smithville, Oklahoma. They're referencing the possibility of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with that storm, or those storms. And they didn't reference much hail concern there, but max wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. So if you live in Mena, if you live in Hatfield Cove, Vandervoort, Wicks, or Grannis, anywhere along Highway 71 in western Polk County, certainly want to take this storm serious. These storms, as they move into town, are probably going to be pretty noisy, and there could be some strong wind gusts too. Might even have some embedded circulations there that we're going to have to deal with over the next 30 to 45 minutes. So if you live in Polk County, that's your first warning of the day. Certainly need to be watching that close. This is the only severe thunderstorm warning in the state as of 1:30. We have tornado warnings getting pretty close to the Fort Smith, Van Buren, and Cedarville area, but they are not impacting Fort Smith yet. I would fully expect those severe thunderstorm warnings to be expanded into Crawford and Sebastian County relatively soon. Due to this mess back in here, you can kind of see it's a little bit more organized back in here, and that's going to move into western Arkansas pretty soon. It does look like we have a new tornado warning that was issued for that circulation we were just looking at near Smithville, Oklahoma. This is like Easter Sunday. Like we were talking about the same area. You can see the circulation here near Smithville, Oklahoma. This warning does not include any of Polk County yet, but I would imagine that it could include parts of Polk and maybe even Scott County eventually if that circulation decides to persist. No, Sydney. No, Sevier County, Little River County will get storms here in a little bit. And I doubt you get missed with this one, unfortunately. Yeah, they shouldn't be sounding the tornado sirens unless there's a tornado warning. I don't really care that's just, I don't agree with that. People reference tornado sirens with tornadoes, not severe thunderstorms. It's just going to make the boy who cried wolf stuff even worse. So hopefully that's not true about Fort Smith and the sirens are not going off. They shouldn't be going off. Pencil Bluff, Kaylee, yeah, you've got storms moving here over the next hour and a half or so. Brooke says, when are we clear for NWA? It's going to be a couple of hours before I can give you an all clear. Northwest Arkansas storms are moving in now. They aren't severe at this time. We'll watch it. Looks just like rain and thunder to me. So you do not have a tornado warning in Benton County. Nope. No warnings in Northwest Arkansas. Aspen says, do you think Van Buren will have a warning tonight? Not tonight, but soon. I think you will have severe thunderstorm warnings soon. Maybe even a tornado warning, I guess, technically, if we have a circulation. But I think stronger storms are moving in here relatively soon. Nikki says, should we pick up kids early from school? That's completely up to you. I don't really know how that, that's a parental opinion. I know that it kind of stinks knowing that we're going to have rain and thunder and storms moving in when school pickup is, but you would probably have to do it pretty quick if you lived in the Greenwood area. Okay, cool. Kim says the sirens aren't going off in Fort Smith, so that's good. Yeah, there's tornado watches, but no tornado warnings in Arkansas yet. Did you like your Chipotle? Glad I got to see you. Yep, I did enjoy it, Joseph. It's good to see you, man. Thanks, David. I appreciate it. I don't know what the deal was with the comment about the sirens. So it sounds like they did issue a tornado watch for Northwest Arkansas. I'm getting some comments about that. I don't have that on my phone, I guess. Yeah, I don't have that on my phone. Yeah, there's no tornado warning in Arkoma. Someone was asking about Arkoma. No tornado warning there. It's to the northwest of you. Abby says, is Waldron at any tornado risk? Yes, you're under a tornado watch in Waldron, so definitely gotta watch the weather here over the next hour or so. I'm going to pull that back up. Somebody is saying that there's tornado watches in Northwest Arkansas, but I didn't get an alert on my phone for that, so I'm going to check and see. Yeah, so they did issue... Let's revisit this. That way everyone's in the clear on what I'm talking about here. So, new watches. They did include Washington County in the latest warning. Or excuse me, watch, not warning. Fayetteville is obviously Washington County, Elkins, Prairie Grove, Springdale. You're under a tornado watch. Crawford was also added earlier, and Columbia County was also added. So we have tornado watches now all the way from Fayetteville down to Texarkana and over to Hot Springs. If you are in a yellow county, you are under a tornado watch. Orange just means a severe thunderstorm. The red is tornado warnings. So pretty good chunk of the state under tornado watches. And if you're not in a yellow county, you're not under a tornado watch at this time. But you might be later. We'll see. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that has been expanded to include parts of Sevier County, DeQueen up to Gillum. Does not include Horatio at this time, but could soon. Those storms will be moving into southwest Arkansas soon. We have a tornado warning here that's pretty close to Polk County. It's kind of fizzled a little bit. This is kind of what we're watching there. We'll keep an eye on that. The tornado warnings near Fort Smith, the circulations there have really broadened out quite a bit. These were a lot more impressive earlier, but there's still technically tornado warnings if you're in Atkins, Long, and Marble City. If you're watching this in Oklahoma, you should still be sheltered until this passes, but these circulations just don't look like they did earlier, which is great. It's good news. But regardless of tornado warnings, we do have strong storms as a whole that are moving into the region now. I mean, all the way up from Bentonville and Bella Vista down to southwest Arkansas. Storms are slowly filtering in. They're a little bit ahead of schedule. I thought it was going to be closer to that 2 to 3 to 4 p.m. window, but they're getting here just a tad bit early, about 1:30. So this is kind of our setup for now. I'll go ahead and do a reset for everyone, especially if you're just now tuning in. Folks, if you live in Arkansas, any part of our state, there's a good chance that you're going to observe rain and storms at some point later today and tonight. So hopefully that curbs any questions that you might have about where you live. All 75 counties have an opportunity for some rain and storms tonight. Now, the severe weather risk isn't universal. The severe weather risk is highest in this part of the state. Western Arkansas, southwest Arkansas, parts of central Arkansas. I don't think it's as high here in north central Arkansas or eastern Arkansas, but we'll watch it, of course. The biggest concern for tornadoes, in my opinion, is in western and southwest Arkansas where those tornado watches are. we spoke about it earlier. If you're in southwest Arkansas, there's a fairly strong line of storms. These look really, really organized. This is concerning, the way that this, I mean, you can kind of see just looking at it here, this is going to continue moving to the east and will impact a large chunk of southwest Arkansas within the next 2 hours or so. D, Queen, and Ashdown, Texarkana, you're probably up first, and eventually Nashville, Hope, Magnolia, maybe in Camden, Arkadelphia. I think the tornado concern is a little bit higher in this part of the state. I think this little sector is where the better tornado probabilities exist, where the low-level jet core is a little stronger. There's quite a bit of instability to work with. And these storms just look a little bit cleaner than what's up north. Not saying that there's no risk up north, near Fort Smith or northwest Arkansas or anything like that. I'm just saying that the risk is a little bit better in southwest Arkansas. So hopefully that kind of answers your questions about who's in and kind of who's out for the next 3 or 4 hours. If you're in Little Rock or anywhere near Little Rock, Hot Springs, Pine Bluff, Conway, you still have a little bit before storms make it to you. They're just now crossing the border in western Arkansas. And if you're in Jonesboro or Wynne, Stuttgart, Dumas, Monticello, you've got quite a while before anything gets to you. So if you have plans or you're about to go pick up the kiddos at school, you should be fine. A little different story here in western Arkansas, though. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube. Better be live. Yeah, no, I'm live on YouTube. I'm getting comments on YouTube as well. So, Mike, it looked like so just for reference, the severe thunderstorms down here to the south, I think they were moving. They're not moving real fast. Give me 1 second and I'll let you know. Just kind of a reference on some of these severe thunderstorms that we have. Yeah, so northeast at 30. I think 30 to 40 miles an hour is kind of a good reference for storm speed today. They're not moving at the speed of light, that's for sure. They're moving pretty slow. They're a little ahead of schedule on arrival, but they're not moving that fast. No, Carissa, Mayflower is not under a tornado watch. No. Yeah, Pangburn is later tonight. If you're in Greenwood, would it be okay to go to downtown Fort Smith for a little bit? You're going to encounter storms over the next few hours. So if you enjoy driving in storms and stuff, and they could be strong, so I would definitely be careful. Candace says there is more to severe weather than just tornadoes. There is a big wind threat today as well. I agree. Yep. Candace is spitting facts in the comments. Yep. Yep. Some of the storms today could have wind potential. We could have some strong wind gusts at times. I'm sure we'll probably end up with a few wind damage reports when everything is said and done. Karen says, is the tornado warning coming to Mena? We don't have a warning in Mena yet. You have a severe thunderstorm warning, but the circulation that spawned the tornado warning to your southwest is still down here. So no warning for Polk County yet, for tornado warnings, that is. Kate says, driving down I-40 to Nashville. Storm has been chasing us in south, so will it be behind us? If you're driving south to Nashville soon, it's eventually going to probably catch you because you're going to be going south as it moves east. Michaela says, tornado risk for downtown Fort Smith. It's there here over the next 30 to 45 minutes. I don't have any imminent circulations moving into Fort Smith. There's no tornado warnings for downtown Fort Smith, but it's probably going to get pretty windy soon in Fort Smith as these storms move in. I would kind of surprised the National Weather Service hasn't issued a warning, a severe thunderstorm warning, but maybe they're just kind of waiting to see what this storm does. About to head to Greenwood to get kids from school. Is that okay? Yeah. It's going to be storming here, in the next 20 or 30 minutes. So just be careful. Siloam is in Benton County, and it's not under a tornado watch at this time, but storms are moving in soon. Do you expect the storms to weaken a bit by the time they hit northeast Arkansas? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think that the severe weather risk is quite a bit lower in northeast Arkansas tonight. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, though, that I want to discuss. These storms mean business, folks. If you live in Ashdown, if you live in Little River or Miller County near Texarkana, if you live in Ashdown, severe thunderstorm warnings are moving in soon. We'll go ahead and read the National Weather Service text on this. The National Weather Service is stating that at 1:39 p.m. Central District Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line from 9 miles west of Arkinda to near Mount Pleasant. So that's in Texas. From 15 miles northwest of Foreman to near Mount Pleasant, moving east at 55. So these storms are moving, per the National Weather Service, a little bit faster. And so this is headed east-northeast into southwest Arkansas. So just a big heads up in Ashdown and Texarkana. Those storms are probably going to mean business when they move into town. No tornado warnings yet on these, but we'll see. The radar coverage in this part of the state is kind of tough. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings, too, that have been expanded into west central Arkansas near Fort Smith. I figured that was coming. We'll go ahead and discuss this as well. So this includes a large chunk of Crawford County. It includes the city of Van Buren, Cedarville. It does not include Alma yet. It does include Fort Smith, Barling, Hackett, Greenwood, Bonanza. It does include Hartford. I'm sorry. Hartford, Mansfield. It doesn't include Lavaca at this time. And this is for the storms moving out of Oklahoma into the Fort Smith general region, where strong winds are likely. I'm sure we'll have max wind gust potential, 50 to 60 miles an hour with these storms. I don't see a whole lot of hail in there, and there could be an embedded circulation or two that we'll have to keep an eye on, but for now, no tornado warnings in this area. So if you're in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Hackett, Barling, it's probably about to get pretty windy as these storms move in. Lots of rain, plenty of thunder and lightning. So we're starting to see those severe thunderstorm warnings fill in from top to bottom. You can see we have warnings from here now all the way down to here. So this is going to continue with time. Sharon, there's not really a severe weather risk in southeast Arkansas tonight. It's very low. Jamil says, how do you feel about Little Rock? There's a severe weather risk in Little Rock tonight. It's lower, but storms won't be there for a while. So you're good to go for the next few hours at least. Van Buren's under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. Will there be rotation in Van Buren with these storms? Can't say for sure. I didn't see anything just a second ago whenever I was looking at the radar. Nothing of note yet, but it's likely going to be pretty windy soon as these storms move into Van Buren and Fort Smith. There's no tornado warnings in Fort Smith or Van Buren or Greenwood or anything like that yet. How do I feel about Russellville? Russellville has a severe weather risk today. It's lower than southwest Arkansas, but it's still there. I think your main concern is wind potential, but tornadoes possible too. I don't think Pope County's under a tornado watch. But certainly something to keep an eye on here over the next few hours. Storms probably won't be in Russellville for another couple of hours or hour and a half. I'll check my Facebook real quick and see if I've got any reports in my messages here. So I know a lot of you are joining like now, so you've probably missed everything I've said over the last 30 minutes. So I feel like now is a good time to go over kind of like a reset on what to expect over the next 30 minutes or so. So as of 1:44 p.m., there are no tornado warnings in Arkansas or Oklahoma. They have all been canceled. We have severe thunderstorm warnings as far north as Cedarville, near Van Buren, Fort Smith, Greenwood. And this goes down to the south into southern Sebastian County, Polk County, so Mena, Wicks, Grannis, Cove, Hatfield. We have warnings down to DeQueen. And then we have warnings down to the south, Foreman, Wilton, Ashdown, Ogden, and Texarkana. So hopefully that can kind of set in stone for you what to expect over the next 30 to 45 minutes. We have strong to severe thunderstorms moving in. There are no tornado warnings at this time. That could change soon. But for now, no tornado warnings. That doesn't mean that the severe weather risk is just zero because there's no tornado warnings, because there could be wind damage. we could have wind gusts well over 50 miles an hour. So if you are under a severe thunderstorm warning, which I am, I'm with you guys in that. I live in western Arkansas near Greenwood. So strong winds could be moving in here fairly soon. This activity is going to move east with time. Sorry, my arrows aren't perfect, but this blob of just rain and storms and wind is going to continue moving east through the next few hours. So if you're in central Arkansas, south central, north central Arkansas, not a whole lot going on right now, but the activity will get to you soon within the next 3 to 4 hours. Then eastern Arkansas, it'll be later tonight before it makes it to you. Storms are moving between 30 and 40 miles an hour for the most part, it seems. So not moving just incredibly fast, but they're moving east, and they'll make it east tonight with time. So Jordan, Little Rock, Pulaski County is not under a tornado watch, but that doesn't mean that your severe weather risk is 0. Some strong storms could still move in later today, mainly a wind concern. Braley says, is Alma and Van Buren good? Well, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Crawford County. Alma's not included in that warning yet, but you probably will be soon. Yes, all tornado warnings have been canceled. We don't have any warnings at this time. It's 1:45 p.m. So I think it's likely that we probably have a couple of more tornado warnings before the evening is over, especially in southwest Arkansas. But for now, we're tornado warning free. Pea Ridge, that's up in Benton County. No tornado watches for you, but could have a strong storm or two move through. But for now, it just looks like rain and thunder. Johnson County, safe tonight, brother. You're going to have storms. Wind is the main concern, but Johnson County is not under a tornado watch at this time. Jackie, Washington County is under a tornado watch. Storms are moving in now, so we'll keep an eye on it through the next hour or so. Waldron, Scott County is under a tornado watch. The storms are moving in soon, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll look at the, real quick, I feel like we've gotten a bigger influx of viewers because of the tornado, the severe thunderstorm warnings and whatnot that have been issued. So I'm going to pull up that tornado watch map one more time so everyone kind of has an idea on what to expect with that. Give me just a moment. So these are the tornado watches. Last updated at 1:44 p.m. We have tornado watches from Fayetteville, so Washington County down into Crawford and Sebastian County. This goes through Logan, Yell, Garland, Hot Spring, and Clark County. And this continues down to the south. It goes all the way down to Columbia County and encompasses all of southwest Arkansas. If you're not in a yellow shaded county, you're not under a tornado watch. And I don't know if they're going to issue additional watches in central Arkansas. The National Weather Service might just want to monitor how storms evolve, and if they do evolve to the east and look like they're going to cause problems, they'll probably issue more tornado watches later. Remember, a watch is not a warning. A watch just means that conditions are favorable for tornadoes, but that does not mean that one is imminent. They're not the same thing. Watch and warning, not the same thing. So that's where we're at on tornado watches right now. So if you live in a yellow shaded county, tornadoes are possible here over the next few hours. We only have severe thunderstorm warnings right now. We don't have any tornado warnings. Generally, don't just stay live for severe thunderstorm warnings, or I would never probably leave this desk. But with storms moving into the region and kind of, I feel like some people kind of a little bit on edge today. I think it's best to stay live for the short term, especially with the storms that are moving into southwest Arkansas. I think these might cause us some problems, unfortunately. These certainly look the part of stronger storms, severe thunderstorms, that is. So Texarkana and Ashdown, heads up. Those storms are moving in pretty soon, along with D Queen and then up to Mena. If you live pretty much anywhere from Cedarville south to Texarkana, and that's a lot of people, severe thunderstorms are moving in here over the next hour, 30 minutes to an hour. Brittany says, what about Corning? That's way up in northeast Arkansas where the severe weather risk is pretty low tonight. The focus is more so on the western half of the state. So if you're in Corning, Brittany, you can go outside and grill some burgers and have a good time for the next few hours and not have to worry about a thing. But maybe later tonight, some rain and thunder move in. Yeah, Alyssa, yeah, that sounds about right. I think storms are, it looks like the worst of the storms will be moving into Mountainburg here within the next 30 to 45 minutes. It's probably getting windy here soon in Fort Smith. You can see kind of this line moving off to the east. This is going to move into Fort Smith and Van Buren soon. It's probably going to get pretty windy. We're going to have to keep a close eye for any embedded circulations. That's where the tornado warnings will come from today. It's not going to be some big supercell with a big hook producing tornado after tornado like we're used to. These are usually short-lived tornadoes, and they're hard to spot. They can happen real fast. So, yeah, Muldrow is no longer under a tornado warning, Judy. Melissa is asking about North Little Rock. No, I'm not in Little Rock, Eduardo. I'm at home. I live in Western Arkansas doing live coverage, brother. Melissa says North Little Rock time frame. It's probably going to be closer to that, maybe 3 to 4 p.m. through 7 to 8 p.m. window. These, I would say that's probably getting close to Central Arkansas within the next couple of hours, 2.5 hours or so. Hey, Nana. Thanks for watching. My Nana is watching on YouTube. She's high-tech like that. Melody, that's up to you. Storms are moving through Fort Smith now. Behind the main wave, it's just going to be rain and thunder. So that's a decision for you to make. I would definitely give it a little bit before driving, though, because it could be kind of gross driving into Fort Smith soon with the strong winds. Natalie, Boonville is in Logan County, which is under a tornado watch. So have to watch the weather here for the next, we'll say hour and a half before storms get into Boonville and really settle in. We'll have to watch for any embedded circulations or anything like that. Evelyn says, is there a possible chance for a tornado in Fort Smith? No tornado warnings right now in Fort Smith, but some stronger storms are moving in soon. House Paris through Dardanelle, River Valley, please, says windy. So Logan County, Sebastian, and Crawford County, and Yell County are all under tornado watches. So certainly tornadoes are possible. So we have a new tornado warning in Oklahoma that could eventually impact Arkansas. As a matter of fact, the polygon is touching the Arkansas border. So just a heads up on this. If you live in northwestern Crawford County, north of Cedarville, there's a circulation here near Aikens, Oklahoma, that has sparked a tornado warning, and this is moving off to the east-northeast. So this could impact sections of northwestern Crawford County. This is a pretty rural part of Crawford County, but Highway 59 runs up through here. And that eventually, I guess, could impact southern Washington County as well. So just a heads up. That polygon is not in Arkansas yet. No tornado warnings in Arkansas for the time being. We'll have to watch that circulation there, though, moving into Polk County soon. That might be our first tornado warning in Arkansas if that persists. Guys, does my audio sound good? Like it's not too loud or like causing any issues in... Nicole, Faulkner County is not under a tornado watch at this time. We'll have to watch how storms evolve later, but storms are likely. I think wind damage, strong winds are the main concern for Conway area. Lindsay, there is no tornado warning in Lincoln. Nope. You're under a tornado watch in Lincoln, but not a warning. Sounds good. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Audio is good. Cool. I can hear the rain starting outside. Wolf says, how does Fort Smith look right now? It's storming. Yeah, storms are moving into Fort Smith. A severe thunderstorm warning up for Sebastian County, a large chunk. It probably about to get pretty windy in Fort Smith as the main complex here moves into town. Fort Smith, downtown Fort Smith, Van Buren, South Fort Smith, pretty much everybody. It's going to storm here with some pretty heavy rainfall and quite a bit of thunder. Shannon says volume is fine, but there's a 1 second delay between your sound and your mouth. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing that. That really, really frustrates me, but I can't figure out how to fix it. Hopefully it's not too annoying. It would bother me, but sorry, I'll try to get it fixed. Virulus says, how does it look for Mena? We're between Hatfield and Mena. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning in Mena. Storms are moving in now into Polk County, and we did have a warning down here, a tornado warning, but there's not any right now, so. I do want to touch on Southwest Arkansas too. These storms are strong. Moving into Northeast Texas and Southwest Arkansas soon. The leading edge has actually made it into Arkansas here near west of Ashtown. It's moving into Foreman soon. This is kind of the leading edge here. I would not be surprised if there's some pretty strong wind gust on the leading edge here. And I mean, a swath of heavy rainfall as well. Really need to watch Southwest Arkansas today for tornado potential, embedded circulations. And that severe thunderstorm warning includes a large chunk of Little River County and Miller County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's been extended well out into Howard County, northern Hempstead County. So Mineral Springs, Nashville, Dirks, Locksburg, Horatio, Winthrop, pretty much all of Howard County. That includes Dirks as well. And the concern there is strong wind potential. So Michelle says, how about Greenwood? Severe thunderstorm warnings up for Greenwood now. Has been for a little bit, so storms are moving in. No tornado warnings in Greenwood, but could get windy here in a little bit as the main wave kind of settles into the area. Nicole says there's no delay on YouTube. Okay, so maybe it's a Facebook issue. So maybe I can't fix it. Kind of zoom out here so everybody can see pretty much everything. We don't have any tornado warnings in Arkansas as of almost 2 o'clock. I doubt that stays the same. We'll probably have a couple before everything is said and done. But for now, it's just severe thunderstorm warnings due to wind potential. Does it look like any of it will come towards Waldron? Yes. Yeah, it's going to storm in Waldron. It's going to storm in Mansfield, Stacy. Storm's moving in now. Severe thunderstorm warning in Mansfield. Jamie says, what about North Fort Smith? It's storming in Fort Smith now. It's going to storm here for the next hour and a half probably. Severe thunderstorm warning up for Fort Smith. Asking about Boonville. Nothing in Boonville yet, but it's going to be there within the next hour or so. Logan County is under a tornado watch. So, Gianna is in Prairie Grove. Prairie Grove is in Washington County, which is under a tornado watch. The storms are moving into the area now. Kierman, I'll reference tomorrow's severe weather potential later. I'd kind of like to get through this. I don't want to confuse anybody. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. See if I can pull up the iDrive cameras here, maybe along I-40. Along the state line, see what it looks like. Probably just a lot of rain if I had to guess. Yeah. Great job, Zach. You're my go-to weather guy. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you for trusting and watching. It's been a long spring so far. We still have a little bit left, but wind is starting to pick up in the Mountain Fork area of Polk County. Yeah, it's pretty much, guys, all of this. So if this is up in northern Arkansas, from this area down, pretty much all these storms that are pushing to the east, all of this activity is probably going to have some pockets of wind in it. Some stronger than others, but that's why the National Weather Service is issuing the severe thunderstorm warnings pretty much all up and down the line here. With our one tornado warning, you can kind of see what looks like an embedded supercell. See this, guys? So you can kind of see the hook there. Forward flank goes out. This is where your tornado would be, kind of right in there. That circulation is northeast of Aikens and near Bellefonte. I don't really know. That's in Oklahoma. I don't know how to say that. But Crawford County, northwest Crawford County, we'll have to watch that circulation, and maybe Washington County too with time. But that's our only tornado warning on the board. It does not include Arkansas. Of course, we're watching these circulations down here. These little embedded circulations, which I don't really know if that's much of a circulation, but these little embedded circulations can spin up so fast and they're hard to detect. Okay, did they add Franklin? I'm kind of surprised that Franklin wasn't in it in the first place. So, okay, we'll do this again. We've done this a few times because of added counties. I don't know why the National Weather Service didn't add them earlier, but oh well. Maybe they were wanting to kind of see how things evolve. So, let's go over this real quick. So, Franklin County has been added to the tornado watch. Franklin County's right there. Franklin County's like Charleston, Ozark, that part of the state. So we have tornado watches all the way from Fayetteville, so Washington County, down through Crawford, Franklin, Sebastian, Logan, Yell, Garland, Hot Spring, Clark County. That goes all the way down to Columbia County, Lafayette, Miller. And then it just encompasses in between. The orange shadings are severe thunderstorm warnings, but Polk, Little River, Howard, severe, they're all included in those watches as well. I don't know if they're going to reissue tornado watches in central Arkansas, but the way things have went, it certainly seems possible the way they've added counties. So we'll see what happens, but the higher tornado risk today is in southwest and western Arkansas. It's thundering outside of my house if you guys can hear that now. Let's check in on the southwest Arkansas storms and kind of see what those look like. They look about like they did earlier. A lot of lightning, a lot of rainfall, probably some gusty winds. Texarkana, big heads up on that. Winthrop, storms are moving into Foreman now. Going to be moving into Ashdown soon. Wilton, Ben Lomond, Locksburg, Ogden, Texarkana. And eventually, those warnings will be expanded probably into Hempstead County. So, McNabb, Fulton, Hope, Washington, Ozan, Blevins, probably even north to Delight. There in Daisy, Murfreesboro, Glenwood. Those storms will be moving in within the hour. The only tornado warning we have on the board, and it's not even technically for Arkansas, is in Oklahoma, right along the border. So everything else is just severe thunderstorm warnings for strong winds. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Brandy, it wouldn't surprise me if they add Johnson County, the way that things have been going. We've added several counties since we started. Laney says, hi, can we leave this stinky shelter yet? Laney, where are you sheltered at? Are you in Oklahoma? Or are you in Arkansas? Angela's in Lead Hill and Yellville. The severe weather risk is not as high up there today. You're likely going to observe some rain and thunder, but the tornado risk, severe weather risk, is quite a bit lower. Not zero. Amanda, are you correcting me on my pronunciations? I appreciate you letting me know because I'm not from that part of the state. Ben Lomond and Winthrop. Winthrop, so it's not Winthrop. Okay, I got you. Laney, there's no tornado warning in Muldrow. You're fine. You can come out of your shelter. Carly says, I'm at the University of Arkansas. How are we looking? Storms are moving in soon. Some could be strong at times, but for the moment, no imminent concerns in Fayetteville. Where am I located? I live near Fort Smith in a town called Greenwood in western Arkansas. So I'm technically in a severe thunderstorm warning. This entire little section of the state has strong storms moving in. Look at this. Guys, look at the hook here. See this? This is that tornado warning in Oklahoma headed off for northwestern Crawford County. Look at the hook here wrapping in. Tornado would be located right in here somewhere, kind of in that area. Right there. This is where your circulation is. And this is moving to the east-northeast. Big heads up for folks who live north of Cedarville. If you live north of Cedarville on 59, this is headed off to northwestern Crawford County. I know that that's not just the most populated area of our state, but people live up there. Just a heads up. We'll keep an eye on that. Yeah, I've been watching that stuff near Mena. We don't have any tornado warnings near Mena right now. It's just severe thunderstorm warnings. But I'm keeping an eye on it. It does look like these storms are pretty strong as they move through. I think wind is the biggest concern for the time being, but no tornado warnings as of 2:06 in Polk County, Scott County, or anywhere in between. Yeah. Pretty much all. You're kidding me. Did I miss? Did they expand? Okay, no, I don't have that. You're making me nervous, man. So I didn't get it. I didn't get a notification for that. Carla Magazine, Logan County's under a tornado watch. So Dallas, that's a great question. Let's look at that. Dallas is asking how close the tornado warning in Oklahoma is to Natural Dam, which is in Crawford County. I've been to Natural Dam before, but it's been a minute. Let me make sure I'm not telling you incorrect information. It's pretty close. The warning itself, the circulation is still to the northwest of Short, Oklahoma, and Stony Point, which is southwest of Natural Dam. I think it's going to miss Natural Dam and be more of a problem for the Evansville area along Highway 59 and the Highway 59 and Highway 100 interchange. That might even be too far north. It's hard to see on my radar. It doesn't show. The area south of Evansville, probably. So, very rural part of Crawford County, but I would be surprised if the National Weather Service doesn't go ahead and issue the tornado warning out into Crawford County soon, though. And if they do, we'll discuss it. But for now, no tornado warnings in Arkansas. How bad do you think it will be by the time it reaches Pine Bluff? I think the risk is lower in Pine Bluff, but there's still technically a risk for some strong winds and hail later tonight. There is no tornado watch in Jefferson County at this time. Trying to determine whether I was hearing police or tornado sirens when I was outside just now. Rochelle, there's no warnings in Fort Smith, so probably just police sirens or EMS or something. It's thundering outside my house, guys. Lauren says, are we hood in Fayetteville? I think you meant to say, are we good? And not hood. Lauren, you're under a tornado watch in Fayetteville, Washington County. We'll have to watch those storms to your southwest pretty close. Tonytown people, how about that thunder we just heard? Yeah, there's a lot of thunder with this stuff. It's noisy too. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that I think we should discuss real quick that has been expanded out to eastern Polk County, sections of Montgomery County, and of course parts of Pike County as well. So just a heads up on that. If you live in Mount Ida, you might have got a warning on your phone that storms are to your west or headed east. Once again, a very rural part of our state, but people live here. So just a heads up on that. Area is northwest of Daisy, west of Norman, along 270. Is that 270? I think that is 270, yeah. Sometimes I get my roads confused down there. And we have severe thunderstorms now that are moving into Fort Smith, into Van Buren. This is going to be moving into Hackett soon. So my Hackett people, it's about to move in here pretty quick. Greenwood, Barling, this is all moving in here relatively soon. And it's probably going to get a little windy at times. I don't see anything too crazy, but lots of rain to deal with and plenty of thunder too. It's just a big blob. I mean, guys, we're looking at it here, and this radar doesn't even encompass all the stuff in Texas. It's just a big blob of gross, and it's moving east. It's going to continue moving east with time into central Arkansas, north central Arkansas, south central Arkansas, and eventually eastern Arkansas tonight. Springdale is under a tornado watch, yes. Wind is starting to pick up in Fort Smith. Yep, that sounds about right. We just talked about that. The main wave of that storm is moving into Fort Smith now, especially downtown Van Buren. And then, of course, we have the tornado warning up to the northwest. Circulation doesn't look as defined as it did earlier. Here in eastern Oklahoma, you can really see it was really right there. I felt like it was more when it was northeast of Aikens and west of Long, Oklahoma. It was a little bit more defined. It's a little bit more broad now, but still might be worth the tornado warning. We'll see what the National Weather Service in Tulsa does with that circulation as it moves off to the east. You can see the wind really pushing into Fort Smith here. When I loop the radar, you can see pushing into Van Buren, eventually Cedarville, Rudy, from Fort Smith south. Gary, yeah, there's nothing in Prairie Grove for the time being. It's just rain and thunder, but you do have strong storms to your southwest. We'll go down and check in on southwest Arkansas, specifically the Texarkana area. These storms have inched closer to Texarkana, so moving in here soon. They've already moved through Foreman, headed into Wilton soon, Ashdown, Ogden, and Texarkana. Strong winds are likely with these storms, along with really heavy rainfall, plenty of lightning and thunder, and can't rule out tornadoes either. We already discussed this warning too that extends out to Ben Lomond, Mineral Springs, Nashville, Dirks, Locksburg, parts of northern Hempstead County, a large chunk of Howard, and Sevier County. Morgan, I have no idea if Mina is going to get a tornado warning. Right now, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. There's nothing imminent that I've seen that deserves a tornado warning in Mina for the time being. But we'll see. Things can happen fast in these scenarios with these little spin-up circulations. Those storms of south of Mina that just crossed Highway 71 near Vandervoort, Wicks, and Grannis, pretty strong. And that's moving off to the east. The wind is wild in Van Buren, I bet. Yeah. The National Weather Service warned this out for max gusts of up to 60 miles an hour. And you can see, looking at the velocity, folks, if you watch right here, you can see the wind, this little line. If you watch it move from left to right, you can see that wind pushing through. See this right there? Pushing off to the northeast towards Cedarville, Van Buren, North Fort Smith, Short, Oklahoma. So it's probably pretty windy in Van Buren, areas north of Van Buren, into Fort Smith, and a large chunk of Sebastian County. And we have this little pause in warnings here, which is pretty interesting in Scott County, where it's just thunderstorms in Waldron. Not a whole lot going on there outside of some rain and thunder. And lightning, of course. Alyssa, yeah, Muldrow's fine. Good to go. Yes, Hannah. Sebastian County's under a tornado watch. Susan says, when is it going to hit central Arkansas? It's going to be a couple of hours likely. I would say that 3 to 4 p.m. through 6 to 7 p.m. time window for central Arkansas. These storms are still just now getting into western Arkansas. So, Haley, yes, rain and thunder will move into Mountain Home later. It's completely still where I'm at in Van Buren. That's interesting. Gabby says, anything for Fayetteville? Fayetteville's under a tornado watch. Washington County is under a tornado watch. We have to watch the storms to the southwest and see how those evolve. Do we have an ETA for Decatur? It's storming in Decatur now, so it's there. Benton County's not under a tornado watch, so I think the severe weather risk is pretty low in Benton County. The real question is, when is it going to end in Fort Smith? Well, the back end of this is still back here, just now east of Tulsa, so we've got a while in Fort Smith. It's going to rain and thunder for a while. Carissa, I would add you as a moderator, but it wouldn't let me add people as community managers earlier. I don't know what the deal is. No wind at all here in Kibler. Yeah, Kibler's to the east of there, so it hasn't made it to you yet. Kibler's here. You can see the line of wind really is right here. So if you're in Kibler, it's probably the wind hasn't made it to you yet. Kibler's not even under a warning yet, but I'm sure that'll change soon. That line of wind might be more north of you anyhow. Boonville is in Logan County, which is under a tornado watch. Storms will be moving in here over the next 30 minutes or so. Is Pope considered central or northwest? So Pope is Russellville, Dover, Hector. I've always kind of considered that more of western Arkansas. Some people might disagree, but I feel like anything over here is more of western Arkansas than anything. Dacia says, when is it supposed to hit Mountainburg? We have storms moving into Mountainburg now, so it's here. The strongest stuff is just here west, but Cedarville has strong winds right now, says Linda. Morgan says, not too crazy yet in Cedarville. Kinley says, the wind in Mayflower is picking up. Mark says, how bad do you think it will get in Mountain Home? I don't think that the severe weather risk in northern Arkansas is that high today. I think it's going to be more rain and thunder, maybe some wind, but the tornado risk itself is not very high. We do have a new tornado warning that is expanded into Arkansas. This is our first tornado warning of the day for Arkansas, so we'll go ahead and go over this. We've been talking about this storm for a while now. I do want to kind of zoom in here and show everybody kind of where the polygon or the circulation is and where it's headed. So the circulation is right here, and it's pretty good little pocket of rotation there, folks. This is still in Oklahoma, but the polygon includes Arkansas, and this is moving off to the east-northeast. Okay, so it includes northwestern Crawford County, and it includes southwestern Washington County, specifically Evansville. If you live in Evansville, you need to be sheltered. I want to make something real clear, okay? I have a feeling there's going to be some people that join the live. Folks, it's possible that the sirens are going off in Van Buren, Mountainburg, West Fork, Fayetteville, Springdale, maybe even Prairie Grove. Guys, the tornado warning polygon does not include any of the places that I just mentioned. The polygon, the area of interest, only encompasses a small chunk of Crawford County and a small section of Washington County. So here's Washington County. There's the Washington-Crawford County line. Here's Crawford County. Our circulation that we're watching is right there. And this is moving off to the east-northeast. If you live in Evansville, you should be sheltered. If you live anywhere in southwestern Washington County, close to the Crawford County line, you should be sheltered. We'll pull out the map real quick and go over this. So if you live near Odell, if you live near Garrett Hollow, if you live in Evansville, if you live anywhere along Highway 59 south of Evansville, if you live near the new Center Point Church or Hale Mountain Road, if you live near the Highway 59 and Highway 100 interchange near Evansville, you should be sheltered. There's a circulation that's headed east-northeast towards your direction. Highway 59 comes out of Cedarville and kind of bends. I'll show you on the map. 59 runs up through here and bends back to the Oklahoma border and goes back up like this. The circulation is right there, so we'll just draw a 5 and a 9, okay? This is Highway 59 here, this line. The circulation is right there. My circle's a little bit old. So if you live anywhere near this bend south of Evansville, northeast of Elam City, certainly want you to be sheltered as this circulation is headed northeast in your direction. We'll read the National Weather Service text real quick. And you can see, folks, really on reflectivity, I feel like it's even better. you can see the bend of this supercell right there. This is embedded in rain. You're not going to see it. Your tornado is likely going to be somewhere in here. This is moving off to the east-northeast. The National Weather Service text. This is radar indicated. I don't have confirmation of a tornado being on the ground. The National Weather Service is saying that a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 5 miles northwest of Short, so that's in Oklahoma. It's moving northeast at 25, so it's not moving real fast, but certainly is moving east-northeast. It's not sitting still, so this is the only tornado warning we have in the state of Arkansas right now as of 2:21 p.m. Looking downstream, our tornado warning is right here. The circulation bends back to the east here, or to the west here. This is where your tornado would likely be. This is headed off to the east-northeast. So if you live in Fayetteville, if you live in Greenland, if you live in West Fork, maybe even Prairie Grove, Winslow might be okay. We'll watch it. If you live anywhere in between, you're not under a tornado warning in the areas I've circled. Obviously, folks, I'm not trying to miss anyone here, but those are population centers in Washington County that are in the direct line of where the circulation would be. Lincoln is kind of close, but it seems as if the circulation is going to be more off to the east-northeast. So if you're about to travel up I-49 towards Fayetteville, if you're coming home from Fayetteville, going down 49 to Greenville or Greenland or West Fork or whatever it might be, and just know that there's a possible tornado that's headed into northwestern Crawford and southwestern Washington County soon. Nicole, there's no tornado warning in Alma. This is for northwestern Crawford County, so nowhere close to Alma. Megan, it's just some storms moving into Mansfield. No warnings or anything right now. Yeah, folks, if you're having a hard time seeing the radar and you're watching on your phone, remember you can turn your phone to the side. It'll enhance the image. And, of course, if you're watching if you have a smart TV in your home, you can cast me onto your TV, just like you're watching a news channel or your favorite TV show. So that makes it easier to see me, too. The only tornado warning in the entire state is for Crawford and Washington County, but it does not include all of those counties, just small sections, northwest Crawford, southwest Washington. The circulation is here. Okay, it doesn't look as impressive as it did earlier. The circulation earlier, you could really see I'll circle it, right here. As I moved into this area right there, I felt like it was really kind of spinning up. But it might be going through a cycle process, trying to kind of get its act together, so we'll watch it real close. Yeah, I know, that's unfortunate. I wish we could fix that, but some county sirens are just warning-based, so I just want to remind everyone, if you're watching this, if your aunt or your uncle or your grandma's texting you telling you you're under a tornado warning, but you don't live in the areas we've spoke about, if you live in Van Buren or Mulberry or Mountainburg, you're not under a tornado warning. It's well to your north and to your west. There's no warning in Alma. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for Van Buren and for Rudy and for Cedarville, but no tornado warning. The same goes for Washington County. I don't know if there's county-based sirens in Washington County, but just know that it's to the south of Fayetteville, Prairie Grove, and West Fork, and Greenland. Matthew, you're not under a tornado warning in Van Buren. It's just a strong storm moving through. Severe thunderstorm, that is. Yeah, Alyssa, there's no tornado warning in Chester or Mountainburg. So, if the sirens are going off, I'm sorry. I don't know why they're going off. It has to be the county-based sirens. I'm guessing that would be the only thing that makes sense. Certainly want everyone, though, looking at my big map here, the circulation in question, the area of concern is right in here. Okay, and this is moving off to the east-northeast. If you live in Evansville, you need to be sheltered. If you live along Highway 59, if you live in Odell, if you live in Skylight, if you live in Morrow, that's Morrow in far west central Arkansas. If you live in Tolu, you need to be sheltered. If you live near Hill Mountain Holiness Church, the Antioch Church, the Skylight Community, if you live near near Garrett Hollow, if you live northwest of Odell, I certainly want you to be sheltered. Okay. If you live anywhere near the Crawford, so the Crawford, that's a horrible drawing, Zach. We'll do it in the polygon only too. If you live anywhere near the Crawford, Washington County line there, in northwestern Crawford and southwestern Washington County, you need to be sheltered. And I would really encourage you not to be outside trying to see it, because I can assure you the likelihood of you seeing anything is low. Because look at the rain shield, maybe even some hail at times that expand out around this. Folks, you're probably just not going to be able to see a whole lot of anything there. Folks, I know this looks like a big bucket of spilled paint, but it's just the way it is sometimes when you got widespread storms. Yeah, so, I mean, obviously we're going to watch this as it moves up into Washington County. It's difficult to project out, with certainty if the rotation is going to stay together. But there is a severe thunderstorm warning that does include parts of Washington County, Prairie Grove, West Fork, Winslow, southern sections of the 49 corridor for Washington County. So we'll just kind of have to keep an eye on that. I do want to go ahead and run down the line real quick, and then we'll go right back to our tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warning still exists for Sebastian County as those storms move off to the east. We have severe thunderstorm warnings that include Polk County, down into Montgomery County, Howard County, Sevier County, Little River County, Miller County. So all the way down to Texarkana. I'll switch over to the Shreveport radar real quick and we can look at those storms. I haven't checked on them in a moment. They don't look as impressive as they did earlier, but with that being said, if the storms moving into Texarkana are probably going to be pretty noisy. Ashdown, Locksburg, Howard County's up next, so Dirks, Nashville, Mineral Springs, and so on. Storms are moving in here soon with a lot of rain, a lot of lightning, and probably some gusty winds too. But we do need to go back and reference our tornado warning. This is our only tornado warning. It's 2:26 p.m. for northwestern Crawford and southwestern Washington counties. Getting a lot of reports of sirens going off in Crawford County. That is not relative to the tornado warning. So I know that that's unfortunate. But folks, if you live in Van Buren, Alma, Mulberry, Kibler, Cedarville, Mountainburg, Chester, there is no tornado warning as of 2:26 p.m. on Wednesday, April 30th. You live in a county where the sirens are based off county-based sirens, I'm guessing, is the only explanation. So, yeah. We do have it looks like the severe thunderstorm warning is still ongoing, though, moving through Fort Smith and through Van Buren. So, but there's no tornado warnings in Sebastian or Crawford County as these storms pass through. I lied. There is a tornado warning in Crawford County. It's just in the northwestern section of the county. Sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted here. I just don't want anyone near Van Buren and Alma or Cedarville to be confused with the warning. But here it is, folks. You can see the spin. If you look, I know, like I said, I know this is kind of tough to see, but you can see it here. You can see it cranking. This is where your tornado would be, kind of right in there. Looking at the velocity product, still watching that circulation as it moves off to the northeast. It's going to clip northwestern sections of Crawford and then move into southwestern Washington County. This warning expires in 29 minutes, so we still have quite a while, and it's not moving that fast. The National Weather Service text had it moving northeast around 25 to 30 miles an hour, so certainly is in no hurry. The severe thunderstorm warning for Sebastian County has been canceled, and they have not reissued one for Franklin or Logan, or anything for Johnson County or other parts of Crawford. So just a heads up on that. We're warning free in the Fort Smith area. Our only severe thunderstorm warnings outside of the one that goes into Crawford and Washington is the warnings in southwest Arkansas and west central Arkansas near Mena. Looking at Mena, it does look like we have strong storms that are moving through now. Lots of lightning, plenty of rainfall, maybe some gusty winds at times too. going to make a post on Facebook real quick. Sorry guys, I'm making a report real quick. Okay, sorry guys, I wanted to make a report on the whole Van Buren siren issue because I'm getting bombarded with comments and messages about it. I wish we could fix that. That's really frustrating. So, just so we're clear, our only tornado warning in the state of Arkansas as of 2:33 p.m. on Wednesday, April 30th is this warning for northwestern Crawford and southwestern Washington County. And we have a severe thunderstorm warning that extends up into Washington and parts of Crawford County as well. And then we have our warnings in southwest Arkansas and west central Arkansas too. We can go over those real quick. No tornado warnings down here at this time, just stronger storms moving through. In fact, some really strong storms. For those of you who live near Dirks or Mineral Springs, Nashville, just a heads up, those are moving in soon, and they are going to be noisy. Ashdown, it's moving in now. Foreman, the worst of it's moving to the east. And then, of course, Texarkana is up next. And then other parts of southwest Arkansas, Hempstead County, parts of Pike County, you're up next after that, and eventually Montgomery County, so Mount Ida. But we're going to go back up and zoom back in on our tornado warning and cover it. Cover it as long as it's here. Folks, if you watch the radar with me, you can see the spin right here. Look at the actual spin there. You can see the rotation on reflectivity, which I think is really neat. It's a little swirl. Of course, this is cyclonic. In the northern hemisphere, cyclonic is the counterclockwise flow, not clockwise. You can literally watch it do it right there. It's really neat. So that's our rotation. That's our storm of concern. And that's moving off to the east-northeast into southern Washington County. Fayetteville is not under a warning. No, Jamie. You're under a tornado watch. But Fayetteville is not currently under a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning at this time. It is really storming outside of my house. Holy cow, it's like really hitting the window. I don't know if you guys can hear that. But just to kind of give everyone a little bit of a reset real quick, and then we'll zoom back in on our tornado warnings. We've only had one warning. We have it now for Crawford, northwestern Crawford, and southwest Washington County. Outside of that, it's all been severe thunderstorm warnings due to wind concern, which certainly deserves attention too. But if you're in central Arkansas and you might be kind of wondering what's going on, we have a lot of activity across western Arkansas now that's going to push east with time. So if you live in Little Rock or Hot Springs, Conway, Pine Bluff, Searcy, this activity will likely make it to you later. I think the severe weather risk is not real high. I think the biggest concern is maybe some hail and wind at best with a very low tornado risk. The better tornado potential is in western and southwest Arkansas today. And then if you live in eastern Arkansas, Jonesboro, Paragould, areas east of Little Rock specifically, the severe weather risk is very low today and tonight. As a matter of fact, you still have quite a while before storms even make it to you. And then in North Arkansas, I know I have a lot of followers from North Arkansas that live up here that have storms to the west headed their way. The severe weather risk isn't real high. It's not zero, but for the most part, I think many of you will be just fine with just rain and thunder, but we'll keep an eye on it. The better potential for the nasty stuff is in western and southwest Arkansas. But I want to zoom back in on the circulation here in Crawford and Washington County. It looks like this is going to continue into Washington County soon. So I don't know what the National Weather Service is going to do with this. I don't know if they're just going to leave it as a severe thunderstorm warning and let this kind of phase off to the northeast, or if they're going to maintain that tornado warning up to Prairie Grove, West Fork, and eventually Fayetteville. We'll obviously cover that accordingly if it does. So, Amanda says there are reports of a tornado on the ground southwest of Grannis. Okay. Have not received anything. I don't think we have anything on the ground near Grannis right now. So it might maybe an old report. So I don't know. I don't have anything. I don't see anything that would indicate that. Send me the report if you do have it on Facebook or something like that, though. I'd like to see it. Brittany, I would expect this warning for Crawford, the tornado warning for northwestern Crawford, to go off pretty soon as the circulation continues off to the east-northeast within the next 20 or 30 minutes. I think the warning itself expires in... That's not right. That's the severe thunderstorm warning. It expires in 21 minutes, so we still have a little bit. Guys, it is really, really windy outside of my house right now. If I lose power, I'm sorry. I'll get booted up as quick as I can. But it is a monsoon outside right now. Thank you, Amanda. I'll check that report real quick. You guys, if you give me just a moment, I'm trying to filter through these reports real quick. Thank you guys so much for sending me reports. I really appreciate it. Excuse me. Check and make sure I'm not missing anything. So, folks, this is, I feel like I've repeated myself about 1,000 times, but in case you're just now joining, this is our only tornado warning in the state, the red polygon here for northwest Crawford and southwestern Washington County. The circulation does not look like it did earlier. It was more impressive earlier. We'll watch it. Obviously, might be going through a cycle process. But they do have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes a pretty good chunk of Washington and Crawford County. As a matter of fact, the warning polygon has just been shaved down dramatically to only include a small sliver of southwestern Washington County. So there is no tornado warning at all for Crawford County. So it only includes southwestern Washington County. Looking at the map here, I'm going to get my reference here. So areas near Dutch Mills, southeast of Morrow, Morrow. The 244 or Highway 51 and 59 interchange there along the Arkansas and Oklahoma border. It's pretty close to that, perhaps just north of it. So just a real small, maybe the smallest tornado warning ever. You can see it's just a real small sliver of southwestern Washington County. And that is the only tornado warning as of 2:40 p.m. If we can get this warning canceled, the tornado warning, and storms down south don't start producing tornado warnings, I might hop off and just do some posts on Facebook as needed to give everyone updates. But I wanted to give these storms some time as they moved into western Arkansas to see what they would do. But as you can see, outside of that little sliver of Washington County, that's the only tornado warning that we have, the red polygon. The rest, these yellow polygons, are just severe thunderstorm warnings in relation to stronger wind gust. Looking at it off the Little Rock radar, though, these storms look like they certainly mean business, especially from Waldron all the way down to Nashville, Ashdown areas. Storms moving into Texarkana as well. But I feel like this gives a good picture of what you can expect here over the next couple of hours. It looks like they've expanded the severe thunderstorm warnings out to include a large chunk of Pike County, almost all of Montgomery County, so Mount Ida, Glenwood, Murfreesboro, Daisy, Delight. And these are eventually going to move east and hit Arkadelphia, Midway, Malvern, Mountain Pine, Hot Springs Village, and eventually probably Little Rock. So all of this is moving to the east. This whole complex is moving to the east. So everyone over here is going to get their turn within the next few hours. Hopefully with minimal issue, but we'll see. I would imagine the National Weather Service is... Man, I cannot get this thing to pop up. There's still 15 minutes left on this tornado warning for Washington County. We'll loop the circulation here real quick. Right here, guys. You can see it spinning right there. Right where my cursor is. So, still spinning, still something to watch. It's embedded in the middle of a bunch of rain. You're not going to see it. The warning does not include Lincoln, Prairie Grove. The tornado warning doesn't. The severe thunderstorm warning does. The tornado warning doesn't include Lincoln, Prairie Grove, Fayetteville, Greenland, any of that. It's just southwest Washington County. We'll see if they reissue another warning for that. Definitely got to watch that storm if you're near Evansville. That's where the tornado warning is, so you'd be sheltered. It looks like they canceled the warning for Texarkana. Did they cancel it? Yeah, they canceled the warning for Miller County and for Little River County, so just a heads up on that. Still have storms moving into the Texarkana area soon. It's moving through Ashdown at the time. It's 2:43 p.m. Yeah, Amber, I think Foreman's okay for now. The worst of it is past you. And guys, once again, I cannot thank you enough for the amount of reports that you guys send me on Facebook and tag me on Twitter. And that when you just look at radar like this, it is sometimes it's hard to put to mind kind of what's going on out there. I did get a report from the Polk County Sheriff of a possible tornado touchdown near Grannis. So I'm going to reach, I actually have the sheriff's phone number. Sheriff Sawyer from Polk County reported that there was a tornado touchdown near Grannis, or that he was receiving reports of one, which is down here in southwestern Polk County. So we'll see what that turns about. I sent him a text to see what he has to say. He's probably busy right now, but we'll touch base on that. Just as a reset, if anybody's joining in here, we have one tornado warning. It's in Washington County. Springdale, Fayetteville, you're not under a warning. Johnson, Elkins, you're not under a tornado warning. Just this small sliver of southwestern Washington County. Prairie Grove, West Fork, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning. I do want to pull up the... No, Springdale is not under a warning. Yeah, Melissa, Mina's fine right now. I do want to pull up the tornado watches real quick and share those with you. So, Sheriff Sawyer did text me back and said that he has a report of one touching down near Grannis. Apparently, it took out 6 chicken houses in Polk County, which down there, those chicken houses are pretty big. So, certainly, obviously could have just been straight line winds too. We'll see. The National Weather Service will have to take a look at it, but he's going to send me a report when he has it. This is the tornado watches as of 2:46 p.m. So the yellow counties are tornado watches. They did, it looks like, add Madison County to that. So that's I didn't know that. That's an addition. So Washington and Madison County all the way down through Sebastian, Franklin, Logan, Yell, Montgomery, Garland, down to Columbia County. The orange shadings are severe thunderstorm warnings, which we've been discussing. And then, of course, our tornado watches, the dark green, are flood-related hazards. So they do have a new severe thunderstorm warning in southwest Arkansas. We'll go ahead and touch on that real quick. So this new severe thunderstorm warning, we'll just start from the top, goes all the way into Pike County, down into, we'll just read the text real quick. Parts of Miller, Hempstead County, Howard County, Lafayette County, Little River, Miller, Nevada, and Sevier County. So a pretty good chunk of southwest Arkansas now under a severe thunderstorm warning. This line that extends down I mean, all the way through here is moving off to the east, and there is strong wind potential with this. Lots of rain, lots of thunder, and maybe some hail at times. Our only tornado warning still is the warning here in Washington County. This little circulation here. Okay, and guys, I cover the whole state, so sometimes I have to bounce around. You know, I can't focus in on one area for too long unless we have something catastrophic ongoing. And I don't think at this time this is a catastrophic tornado. I'm not saying there is no tornado, but it's kind of just sitting still. It's not moving real quick, and you can see the circulation here. You can, I mean, literally, you can see the spin on my radar. We'll see if the National Weather Service expands this warning. It's about to leave the warning polygon soon. So we'll see if they expand that warning polygon out to Lincoln, Prairie Grove, Fayetteville, Farmington, Greenland. It's 250 right now, so we'll see. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, too, for areas southeast of St. Paul. Excuse me. And this is moving off to the north. Might miss St. Paul to the east. And it looks like, can't say for sure, but might have some hail in the storm as well as it moves off to the northeast. That could impact Huntsville later. Might stay east of Huntsville. That seems like the more probable outcome there. So yeah, that's a roundup of kind of where we're at as of 2:52 p.m. Cassidy, we can look at it for sure. Cassidy asked if we can look at the Texarkana storms one more time and kind of see what that looks like. The National Weather Service has this warned out for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, max 60-mile-an-hour winds. This is what your velocity looks like. I know that looks like just a bunch of nothing, but this is a tough spot for radar in our state. Sometimes it's best to just look at this from a reflectivity standpoint. It does look pretty organized. I think the National Weather Service has it warned for 60-mile-an-hour wind gust with hail smaller than 1 inch. So the hail sizes shouldn't be incredibly large. There might be some hail mixed in, though. The storms are really, really noisy moving through Dirks, Nashville, Mineral Springs, headed for Daisy, Murfreesboro, and Pike County. As it's passing through Howard County now. If anyone was asleep in Howard County, they are definitely awake. A lot of lightning there. Courtney, it's still storming in Fort Smith now. So I think for the most part, as far as severe weather goes, I think the severe weather risk in Fort Smith has dropped dramatically. So it does look like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning too, as these storms are passing through Waldron and includes sections of Yale County, eastern sections of Scott County. I'm referencing this storm here. So this line here as it moves off to the east. So if you live in if you live in Plainview or Ola, or Danville, storms could be impacting you soon. The storms are also pretty strong here in Polk County, near the Montgomery County line. So if you live in Norman, if you live in Mount Ida, if you live in Odin, these storms are moving off to the east, and they are pretty stout. Does look like we have some strong winds here too. Might even have a little bit of rotation there. We'll check on that in just a moment and see what comes of that. But still only have that one tornado warning, guys, there in southwestern Washington County. But the circulation's about to leave the polygon, so the National Weather Service has a decision to make here pretty soon on whether or not they want to reissue that warning. The circulation that we were just looking at just got a tornado warning, so I kind of figured it would. You can really tell here. We're going to zoom in just a little bit more, and we'll go over everything on this circulation and on this warning. So, folks, the circulation here, this is for Polk County, parts of Montgomery County, sections of Scott County, and it does not include Yale County at this time. The circulation is down here in Polk County, right in here. So this is the area of concern where you can see the lightning uptick. Personally, whenever I see a lightning uptick in a warning like this, that generally means the mesocycle and the updraft itself is very healthy. So if you live in Odin, if you live anywhere near Odin, you certainly want to be sheltered. The warning polygon does not include Mount Ida at this time. It does not include Norman either. So northwestern sections of Montgomery, eastern sections of Polk County and southeastern sections of Scott County. We will pull up the Google Maps real quick, and we can look at that and make sure that everybody in this area is properly informed. But certainly want everyone in eastern Polk and northwestern Montgomery County to be sheltered. So, judging by where the circulation is, looks like the circulation is getting close to the Montgomery County line. If you live in Pine Ridge, if you live in Huddleston, if you live anywhere along Highway 88, from, we'll say, just northwest of Mount Ida. So 270 runs from Mount Ida near Malden. It eventually will move off to the west near Pencil Bluff. So Highway 88 runs off of 270 near Pencil Bluff. This is not going to be exact, guys. I'm sorry. But so Mount Ida's here. The circulation is here. This is where the tornado would be. It's moving off to the east-northeast. So if you live in Odin, you certainly want to be sheltered. If you live in Pencil Bluff, which is just to the east-northeast of Odin, which is right up in here, that's not exact, so don't quote me on that. I'm just trying to give you a rough draft reference. If you live in Huddleston, which is down in here, or if you live anywhere near Odin, you want to be sheltered. It looks like it's going to head right for Odin, area southeast of Huddleston. Once again, folks, this is... If you're not familiar with this part of our state, this is a fairly rural area. Lots of rural country here, mountainous terrain, woods. If you are near Camp Ozark, Vista Point, if you're near the Riverview Cabins and Canoes, Shirley Creek Recreational Site, if you live south of Odin, along Southside Road or Hogjaw Road, anywhere near the Washita River, certainly want you to be sheltered. So that's our other tornado warning. Looks like we still have our other tornado warning too in southwestern Washington County, and I would venture to guess the National Weather Service is going to let this expire, or else they would probably be reissuing it. So we're going to kind of focus on this storm down here until otherwise noted about the storm to the northwest. Regardless, if you live in Montgomery, if you live in eastern Polk, southern Scott County, specifically I would say more so Montgomery County, areas west of Norman near Mount Ida, the entire county itself has a severe thunderstorm warning where strong wind gusts are possible. Excuse me. Don't really have much of an update on the severe thunderstorm warnings. It looks like everything is relatively the same. They did cancel our tornado warning in Washington County, the one that was in southwestern Washington County. So the only tornado warning that we have in the state now is the tornado warning for Scott, Polk, and Montgomery County. You can see here when we zoom in, southeast of Mena, right there. I know I say right there a lot, but I've got a cursor to indicate. The circulation itself was really, I think, triggered up there where we had some stronger wind speeds too. And that's why the National Weather Service pulled the trigger on a warning. And folks, I did get a report from the Scott County Sheriff that he has reports of damage near Grannis. So we'll see what they find out there. The National Weather Service will probably take a look at it. We did not have a tornado warning for that area. So, Jennifer, the severe weather risk in Rogers is extremely low tonight. Benton County is not under a tornado watch. Kira, unless this is an old comment from you, there is no tornado warning in Washington County. Just a severe thunderstorm warning in southern sections of the county. The tornado warning here in Montgomery, Scott, and Polk counties are only tornado warning as of 3 o'clock. Alan, I'll get back to you as soon as I can, brother. I see your comment about storm chasing for me. Yeah, I was afraid of that. If you are anywhere near Mount Ida or anywhere along this line of storms from Waldron down south to Texarkana, Murfreesboro, Daisy, Glenwood, and you are trying to pick up your children and you get a warning on your phone, that's a tough spot. Certainly want everyone to be careful. Being in a vehicle is extremely dangerous when you're dealing with severe weather. So want everyone to be extra careful if you are in your vehicle and the school pickup line. I do it every day, so I know what you're going through. I just want everyone to be careful. We have severe thunderstorm warnings from Waldron well south to Texarkana. This line of storms that expand south from Waldron through Mount Ida, Norman, Glenwood, Daisy, Murfreesboro, down to Nashville, Tillette, Hope. Those are strong. Strong wind gusts, maybe some hail, and of course, at times can produce tornado warnings too. Yes, Fort Smith is in the clear. Kara, so this storm, you're asking about Scott and Polk County. The bulk of that activity is moving off to the east. If you live in eastern sections of Scott or eastern sections of Polk County, the severe weather concern is imminent. If you live in western sections of the counties, then no, it's past you. Alexis, there's thunderstorms moving through Madison County now. This is the bulk of the activity. You could have some lingering activity through the next 30 to 45 minutes, but there's no severe thunderstorm warnings in Madison County or anything like that. So just an update on this. I really want anyone, if you live in Odin or Huddleston, Pencil Bluff, in Montgomery County, if you live in far eastern Polk County along the Montgomery County line, if you live in extreme southeastern Scott County, if the sirens are going off in Waldron, there is no tornado warning in Waldron. It's for far southeastern sections of your county. The bulk of this is in Montgomery County, headed for Odin, areas northwest of Mount Ida. Yeah, no tornado warnings in Fort Smith or anything, or northwest Arkansas. This is the only warning I've got, tornado warning that is. The rest are just severe thunderstorm warnings for high wind potential. So if you get a warning on your phone and it says severe thunderstorm warning for fill in the blank wherever you live, just know that strong winds are possible. Obviously, we're discussing the tornado warning here, but we've got severe thunderstorm warnings all over the place. A lot of people under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So there's no tornado warning in northwest Arkansas, Sienna. We haven't checked on Texarkana in just a minute. That radar doesn't reach down there like it should. So we have strong storms moving into Texarkana, Ashdown, Tillette, Hope, and this includes parts of Lafayette County, so Stamps, Nevada County, so Prescott, Emmett. This activity is going to continue moving off to the east here with time. It's 3 o'clock now, and this is going to continue moving east towards Mountain Pine, Hot Springs, Lake Hamilton, Arkadelphia, Gurdon, probably eventually Little Rock too. Slowly but surely, folks. I haven't done a reset in quite a while, and then we'll go back to our tornado warning. I'll do a zoom out statewide reset on this. All of this is moving off to the east, this whole chunk. So if you live in the state of Arkansas, there's a good chance that you have either observed rain and storms already, or you will soon observe rain and thunderstorms. So that includes parts of central Arkansas, north central Arkansas, south central Arkansas, and eastern Arkansas. I think the severe weather risk is much lower in eastern Arkansas. I think we have a window of time here in central where these storms could kind of act up a little bit. We'll watch it. But the higher severe weather risk is in western Arkansas today, and that's exactly what's happened. We've had tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. It's played out kind of how I thought. We've had a few tornado warnings, mainly just wind concern for today. So that's kind of where we're at on that. I have to switch back to the Fort Smith radar if we're going to look at that circulation. Still want anyone in Odin, Pencil Bluff, sections of northwestern Montgomery County to be sheltered, folks. Highway 88, Highway 270, northwest of Mount Ida. If you live north or west of Norman, certainly want you to be in your tornado safe spots pretty quick, because this storm is moving through the county now. Melissa says, how is Mount Ida? Well, Mount Ida technically isn't in the polygon, but if you want to shelter in Mount Ida, I wouldn't judge you one bit. Regardless, a severe thunderstorm is moving into town soon, tornado warning or not. It's about to get noisy in Mount Ida. But the polygon does not include, it's kind of right on the edge. It really is too close to even say. So. Yeah, if you, guys, I can pull out the map real quick and show you. That way you can kind of get an idea with me. I wish RadarScope had better map function. I might have to switch radars, honestly, because of this. But we can look at it together real quick. So the tornado warning is for a large chunk of Montgomery County. Odin's right here, where my cursor is. Whitetown, Pencil Bluff at the 88 and 270 interchange. Highway 88 runs all the way down to Pine Ridge, Huddleston. You've got the Shirley Creek Recreation, Riverview Cabins and Canoes, Malden. So northwest of Mount Ida on 270 up to Pencil Bluff, and then Odin. Those are the areas that we just referenced, and whenever we look at RadarScope, you can see it. Here's Odin. Circulation's back down in here where my cursor is, to the southwest of Odin. Mount Ida is close, and then you've got all points in between. So you can see the white lines here too of Montgomery County. Kind of goes up in stair steps and goes up to here. The concern though is in the polygon, which runs up through northwestern Montgomery County. Norman is not in the warning polygon, the tornado warning polygon, but Norman is under a severe thunderstorm warning for strong winds. If you live in Montgomery County, you need to be inside and away from windows, because regardless if there's a tornado or not, strong storms are moving in. Like, they're either on top of you now, or they're going to be in your area real soon. Mount Ida, Norman, Odin, areas of eastern Montgomery County. And this is eventually going to move into Garland County. And we have the storms to the south too. Daisy, Glenwood, Murfreesboro. This will eventually move into Clark County. It goes all the way down into Hempstead County. But this is the only tornado warning that we have right now. Pencil Bluff is the same thing. Kimberly, I do cover Russellville. I cover the entire state of Arkansas. If you need to know something about Russellville, feel free to ask. I'll try to answer it. But there's nothing going on in Russellville right now. No warnings or anything. Fayetteville is okay right now. Yeah, there's a severe thunderstorm warning in southern Washington County, but Fayetteville is just getting rain and some thunder. No severe thunderstorms or anything like that. Summer, it depends. We have some of the storms that have been moving upwards of 30 to 40 miles an hour. Some moving 25 to 30. Generally from 20 to 30, I feel like is a good rough estimate. They're not moving that fast. I mean, it's 3 o'clock now, and we're just now really making progress out of western Arkansas. So these might not be to Little Rock until 4:30, 5 o'clock at this rate. No, nothing's changed for Prairie Grove. Prairie Grove is good to go. Storms are in Prairie Grove, Washington County, Benton County, but I'm guessing the National Weather Service is going to allow that severe thunderstorm warning up there to expire. Sawyer says, I'm a kid and I'm very scared and I'm wondering if there's going to be a tornado in Elkins. Sawyer, not right now, buddy. No tornado warnings or anything right now. Yeah, Mina should be just fine. Rain and thunder. Beverly is asking about Boonville. We have storms moving through Boonville now. Strong storms as well, but they're not severe, so the wind gust potential is a little bit lower, hail potential is lower, just a thunderstorm moving through town. We have one tornado warning in the state, guys. It's 3:12 p.m., and it's for eastern sections of Polk, southeastern Scott, and western and northwestern Montgomery County. And this continues off to the east-northeast. There's quite a bit of wind involved here, folks. If you live in Montgomery County, northern Pike County, you're probably observing some windy conditions as this line or embedded supercell moves through town or through the county. Ryan, you're fine in all those areas you mentioned. You're good to go. They canceled that warning. Sacred Pine says we are in Y City and didn't get a warning, but is your map showing one? I think, let me check on my map here. Y City. So I think Y City, it's close. It's like right on the line, which they just canceled the warning. But Y City was on the northwestern side, so it might be one of those things that depends on where you're located, like geographically located in regards to the warning polygon. So folks, they just canceled that warning. That was our only tornado warning that existed as of 3:13 p.m. So looking at everything from a regional standpoint, I want to reset, okay? This is a great opportunity to reset. We don't have a tornado warning, so everybody's chill. Everybody's chill. I do want to kind of reset, though, and show everything from a statewide view, because I know a lot of you are wondering what's next. This activity is going to continue east with time tonight. We have thunderstorms. All of western Arkansas is observing thunderstorms right now, from Texarkana to Bentonville and Bella Vista. If you live in between those 2 points, you're observing rain and thunderstorms right now. This is going to move off to the east towards central Arkansas, towards northern Arkansas, south central Arkansas. It's eventually going to move into eastern Arkansas later tonight. At the rate we're going, it might be well after dinner time before it makes it to eastern Arkansas. So if you live in Little Rock, Conway, if you live in north central Arkansas near Mountain Home or Harrison, if you live in Camden, El Dorado, if you live in Pine Bluff, Dumas, Jonesboro, I know that you haven't had much today, and that was the plan. It's going to be later today before this stuff reaches you. As you can see now, we're making some progress, slow progress. Storms are in between Fort Smith and Little Rock now and moving east. It's 3:13 now. I would venture to say that storms are probably in the Little Rock, Central Arkansas region from Hot Springs, Conway, Cabot, Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, probably well into that region by the 4:35, 6:30 p.m. hours. I know that's kind of a large window, but it's also a large region that I'm referencing. Storms are going to be in Hot Springs here pretty soon. Hot Springs Village, Hot Springs, Malvern, Arkadelphia. But it might be just a little bit before it makes it to Little Rock, and even longer for Stuttgart, Pine Bluff, and Searcy. And the same goes for North Arkansas. If you live in Mountain Home, if you live in Heber, Mount Olive, like Cherokee Village, if you live between Morrilton up to Harrison, if you live in Clinton, storms are likely going to be headed your way, or they are headed your way, and they'll likely be in your area over the next 2 to 3 hours. And same in South Arkansas. El Dorado, down to Camden, Arkadelphia, Magnolia. These storms continue off to the east. We can check the Shreveport radar now and look at it together. And you can see this activity is moving off to the east. It's going to be in your area, Arkadelphia, Camden, Magnolia, El Dorado, probably within the next hour, hour and a half. Maybe even sooner for areas around Magnolia and points west. But She's not steamrolling. It's not going super fast, but she's moving east. This whole complex itself is moving east. You can see on that last radar scan. The biggest concern to me is starting to shift more into damaging winds. That doesn't mean that the tornado risk is zero. It doesn't mean that we will have a zero circulations to be concerned about, but I think the bigger concern for everybody from a widespread standpoint is strong wind gusts, so wind gusts well over 40, 50 miles an hour, along with some hail. So hopefully everything that my long-winded statement there just helped you kind of prepare for your evening. If you're in Little Rock, it's not doing anything now, but it will be in the next few hours. If you're in eastern Arkansas, you still have a while. If you're in eastern Arkansas near Newport, Wynn, Jonesboro, close to Memphis, hit up your favorite restaurant. Go to church this evening. But just have a way to receive information on your phone. The severe weather risk in eastern Arkansas is pretty low anyhow. So these storms really have their act together now as they move through Hempstead and Pike counties, ahead over Clark County, Hot Spring, and Garland County. It's going to be noisy when these move through. So, Sawyer, there is no tornado warning for Fayetteville or Elkins. You are under a tornado watch that will expire here in a little bit. Elkins is okay. Rachel, Elkins is okay. No warning. We don't have any tornado warnings in Arkansas as of 3:17 p.m. So, guys, I really want to say thank you for watching. Now that we have just a brief reprieve or pause, I want to say a big thank you to 1312 Cleaning and Restoration for sponsoring this video. Arkansas Online Lawyer. If you guys need legal counsel, Travis Plummer, he's my attorney. He's fantastic. He serves the entire state of Arkansas. He's the Arkansas Online Lawyer. And then Jody's Auto Service Center in Fort Smith and Van Buren. If you need your vehicle serviced, you can go see them. Mention my name, Zachary Hall. They'll give you 10% off your service. So really appreciate them for sponsoring my live feed and allowing me to do this. And thank you guys so much for watching and for trusting me. I'm probably going to hop off. If we get more tornado warnings, I'll hop right back on and cover those accordingly. But as long as we have severe thunderstorm warnings, and the main concern is just strong winds, I think everyone can handle that okay. And I'll have updates on my Facebook as needed. And, if these storms are moving into Little Rock or something and there's 70, 80 mile an hour winds, I'll hop back on here and we can discuss it. But for now, I feel comfortable on hopping off. Let me take a quick look. I don't know. Some of these storms are kind of making me a little nervous. I just don't want to get off and then have to get right back on. Like, I could have just stayed on, you know what I mean? I think what I'll do, I'm going to mute my mic. I'm going to pause my webcam. I'm going to leave the radar image up. With this drawing on it, so people know what to expect. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'm going to go get some more water, maybe grab a snack real quick, and then come back in and reevaluate in just a couple of minutes. So if you guys want to hang out, that's fine. Polk and Scott County are not under a tornado warning. They were earlier, but not right now. Just severe thunderstorm warnings. Unless that's what you were talking about, Taylor. I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound rude, but not tornado warnings. It's severe thunderstorm warnings. I'll be back in just a moment, guys. Give me just a second. Okay. Snacks acquired. Also have some water. We're in good shape. Shout out to Stu's Clean Cooking too for the free meal earlier before live coverage. I destroyed that thing. It was so good. Clean Cooking is awesome. I eat it like every single day. So, just so you guys, if you're just now joining, I went to go get some snacks and some water. We need to look at the tornado watches. It looks like a new tornado watch has been issued for... Well, I don't have that information. One second. Oh, I got it now. I got it now. One second. I gotta get this posted on Facebook, guys. The new tornado watch. We'll look at it together on stream too. We don't have any tornado warnings, but we have new tornado watches. That is until 10 p.m. So another late night for me. I was so tired last night, staying up. I tried to get some sleep, but I just couldn't. So worried that storms were going to do something stupid. So, folks, we have a new tornado watch for a large part of Arkansas, and that goes until 10 p.m. And I'll show this to you guys in just a second. It includes a large chunk of central, eastern, north central, and southeast Arkansas. Let's look at this together. Let me pull up my Facebook real quick. Zachary Hall, Arkansas Storm Tracker Facebook page. Handy dandy Facebook. Okay, so this is the new tornado watch counties until 10 p.m. tonight. So, folks, that's a large chunk of Arkansas. It does include our state capital, so Little Rock, all the way down to Camden, Monticello, Dumas, Pine Bluff, Stuttgart, Searcy, Batesville, Heber, Clarksville, Russellville. So it doesn't include several of our northern counties, and it does not include some of our eastern counties. So it doesn't include Jonesboro, Paragould. It doesn't include Crossit. It doesn't include Lake Village. More just like that centrally located counties with some southern and northern counties mixed in too. So that's what our new tornado watch list looks like through 10 p.m. The National Weather Service is referencing that a few tornadoes are likely. So Shelby says, any info for Russellville? Storm's moving in soon. No severe warnings at this time, but it's going to be noisy. Guys, I did see the report from Sheriff Sawyer in Polk County about the tornado near Grannis, or the potential tornado damage. I'm waiting on him to get back with me on what his deputies find. And then, of course, we'll see what the National Weather Service has to say if they go take a look at it. Guys, we have severe thunderstorm warnings from Montgomery County through Garland County, parts of Hot Spring County, Grant County, Nevada, Miller, Hempstead, parts of Little River, and Sevier. I don't think I missed anybody. Everyone else to the north is just general thunderstorms. That doesn't mean that they're not strong at times or noisy. It just means that these storms down here, south of this line, so these storms down here, have a better potential of producing strong wind gusts of severe criteria, so winds well over 50 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, along with hail. And like I said, that last watch is until 10 p.m. So Kara says, they just issued watches for Whitehall and Lincoln County. How is this possible when the storms haven't made it that far yet? Well, Kara, a tornado watch is not a tornado warning. Tornado watches are issued when conditions are favorable for tornadoes. That doesn't mean that they're imminent or about to happen. Tornado warnings mean that a tornado could be imminent. Think of it like a cupcake. Cupcake watch. You have all your ingredients, you're mixing them together. If you're in Little Rock, you're mixing them on your counter, you're about to put them in the oven soon. Conditions are favorable for you to eat cupcakes soon. Cupcake warning means that they're done. You just pulled them out of the oven. You're about to enjoy some really tasty cupcakes. That's a cupcake warning. Same could be said for tornado watches, tornado warnings. Okay? So hopefully that helps kind of clear up the confusion with the tornado watches for, certain counties until 10 p.m. I'm going to enjoy my crackers. Amber says there's trees down and damage in Foreman. Amber, if you see any reports on Facebook, send them to me, please. Amber, I said that there's tornado watches until 10 p.m. for a large chunk of central Arkansas. We just went over the counties together. Guys, if you live in western Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, down to Greenwood, Waldron, Mena, Wicks, this is turning into more of a flooding concern. The tornado risk is well to your east. Strong wind concern is well to your east. You can see it here. These storms down here that are moving to the east is where the greatest concern is for stronger winds. Whereas in everything back here on the backside is more of just heavy rain, maybe some thunder at times. Yeah, no problem, Kara. I'm here to help. I love using the cupcake reference because I feel like it's something that everyone can understand. It's easy to follow. Because I know that sometimes it can be confusing. Rachel says, can you show Elkins? Elkins is right here. Just some rain moving through. Maybe a little bit of thunder at times due to lightning, but not a whole lot going on. Melissa, you are definitely good. You've been able to get out of that shelter for a while. I'm glad to know you went, but yeah, no, you're solid. If you're in Wicks, you can definitely come out of that shelter. I can't stress enough. If you live in Hot Springs, so all of Garland County, if you live in Hot Spring County, Clark County, if you live in eastern sections of Montgomery County, this line of storms looks like it's moving a little bit faster. You guys notice this? I feel like this has made some forward progression from Danville all the way south to Gurdon and Prescott. And then, of course, down to Texarkana and Hope and whatnot, too. I'm not trying to exclude you guys, but I feel like this is a pretty stout line of storms. Yeah, I've seen the report of the tornado stuff near Grannis. We'll just have to see, if it was really a tornado or if it was straight line winds. Drew, if you're in Mountain Home, brother, I don't think you're going to get much rain and thunder. Kimberly says, do you think you'll make it to Russellville? Absolutely, yeah. It's going to be storming in Russellville soon. Carolyn, Lawrence County's not under a tornado watch at this time, I don't think. Doesn't mean you won't see storms tonight, but I think the tornado risk isn't real high. Emily says, what time is it expected to hit Hot Springs? Well, Hot Springs is under a severe thunderstorm warning, so, it's going to be within the next 30 minutes. So, if you live in Garland County in general, you should expect storms real soon. Yes, Ashdown's fine. Ashley, you're good to go. In West Little Rock, says Tiffany, should I be scared of tornadoes? Pulaski County's under a tornado watch. We just discussed that a few minutes ago. A large chunk of central Arkansas is. So I can't guarantee you Little Rock's going to be hit by a tornado, but I certainly need to watch the weather over the next few hours because we could have severe weather. So, and that doesn't just include tornadoes. It might be windy. We might have some damaging wind gusts. So. Yeah, so Clarksville is under a tornado watch at this time. Storms are moving in. It doesn't appear at this time that there's any imminent tornado concerns or anything like that. Johnson County in general, though, is going to observe storms here soon. Watch this through southwest of Danville. But it looks like for now everything is just severe thunderstorm warned due to the concern for stronger wind gust. Yes, Alma's in the clear. Yeah, guys, western Arkansas, near Fort Smith and stuff, northwest Arkansas is good to go. Jacob says, after this main line passes, is it just heavy rain and thunder expected? Yes, Jacob, that's a great question. Guys, once the leading edge passes you, the worst of the storm is beyond you. And behind it is just rain, thunder, with more of a flooding concern, really. Haley, Jackson County is under a tornado watch, so we'll have to watch that this evening, but we're just going to have to kind of see how storms evolve. I don't know. I don't think the tornado risk is incredibly high, but it's not zero. The strongest storms right now are certainly these here in central Arkansas and southwest Arkansas. Really strong storms here south of Texarkana. You can see the winds gusting out ahead of this. So if you're in Miller County, Lafayette County, eventually Columbia County, it's going to get windy soon. Just go ahead and prepare for that now. If you live in central Arkansas, south central Arkansas, this line of storms from Prescott to Glenwood up to Danville is stout, and that includes Hot Springs. It includes Arkadelphia, Malvern, eventually probably Little Rock and Benton. It's probably going to be pretty windy when that moves in, and it's going to be here within the next couple of hours. Referencing the Little Rock area, it's obviously sooner for Hot Springs and Arkadelphia and whatnot, but yes, Mina's in the clear. Guys, western Arkansas is good. If you live in western Arkansas behind this line, you have no concerns. It's just rain and thunder. Rogers is fine. It's about to storm in Russellville. Oliver says, I have a question for Rogers. Go ahead, Oliver. Stephanie, I think what that is that just showing the storms might break up later tonight and be a little bit more hit or miss. I wouldn't take it as a concern. Maddie, no, unfortunately, no. I'm not seeing a whole lot of weakening with these storms. These storms still look plenty mature. So, Rachel, whoever is saying it's going to get bad in Elkins does not know what they're talking about. No, you're good in Elkins. You're just rain and thunder. Somebody's just trying to fib to you. Fayetteville's fine. Severe weather risk is gone in Fayetteville pretty much. What about Little Rock? We have severe thunderstorms just west of Little Rock now. You can see it on my radar here from Hot Springs, Danville, down to Hot Springs, Arkadelphia, Gurdon. And those are eventually going to move into Little Rock. within the next hour or two. Probably more so in the next hour and a half or so. And that includes Saline County. So Benton and Bryan. It includes Perry County. Someone was asking about Conway. It's the same thing. Ashley says, with the storms coming into Russellville, should we be concerned? Haven't had time to check the weather. No severe thunderstorm warnings in Russellville right now, but the storms will probably be stronger when they move in. Just stay indoors. We should be fine. So what exactly happened earlier with Polk County? I couldn't watch any lives because of service and shelter, but there was a tornado spotted, but there was no tornado warning. Colton, I didn't see any circulations for a tornado, but people are reporting tornado damage, but it could just be straight line wind damage. I have no clue. There could have been a tornado. It could have just been so brief that nobody saw it on radar. But I've seen the reports. Keisha, no, I don't think. I think Northwest Arkansas is done with severe thunderstorms. I think it's just rain and thunder for now. I'm out of crackers. That makes me sad. Those crackers are really good. Carissa, it's what the problem is. It's not a problem. People can join and watch as they please. I'll answer a question, and in 30 seconds, someone else will join the live who hasn't been watching, and they'll ask a question. It's okay. I don't mind. If I didn't want to answer questions, I wouldn't be doing this. I don't mind at all. People are just curious. I mean, they want to know. I'm using radar scope, but I'm thinking about switching to something else because, I don't know, they need to really upgrade their map features or something. Prescott, that's a good question. Prescott's under a severe thunderstorm warning. Storms are moving into Prescott now here in northern Nevada County. Might be some hail there between Prescott and Delight or Okolana, just north of I-30. So something to watch in Clark County if you live in Gurdon as those storms move in. Yeah, no problem, Colton. Don't mind. Colton, I spoke with the sheriff of Scott County earlier. He's a friend of mine, Scott. He said he's going to get back with me whenever his deputies find some stuff out there. So we'll see what he has to say. Ashley says, what time are we looking at for Conway? It'll probably be within the next hour and a half or so, 2 hours. So Greenwood, Milltown, Washburn, we are good now. Yep, you're good. Just rain and thunder. Maybe a little bit of wind here and there. How's it looking for Sharp County tonight? I'm just now joining. We have rain and storms expected. It'll be a little while. Storms are still west of Little Rock. So. Will Greene County get storms later? Yeah, it's possible. It'll be later tonight. Maybe quite a while from now. These storms aren't moving. They're moving, but they're not moving just incredibly fast. Bella, that's an old watch. I would expect the tornado watch for Fayetteville and Washington County to expire at 5 with no problems. Prairie Grove is good. For everyone watching right now, if you live western Arkansas, I know there's a severe thunderstorm warning here, but areas to the west of this line up through Fort Smith, northwest Arkansas, Mena, the worst of it is well past you. It's moving off to the east. So Z says, I don't remember the weather being this bad last year. Is it just me? Some years are worse than others. Sorry, guys, my allergies are killing me. Some years are worse than others. This has been a busy year for severe weather. Heather says, are the storms supposed to weaken before they get into Central? I don't really know how much they're going to weaken. They don't look like they're weakening right now as they're moving off to the east. We have storms, still moving off to the east now. Severe thunderstorms, too, especially down here. And they don't show signs of weakening yet. They look pretty healthy to me, especially for wind concern, heavy rain, and hail. Absolutely, Chris. No, I don't mind at all. Jeremy, I don't know. I doubt it. The latest tornado watch went until 10 p.m. for most of central Arkansas, north central, south central Arkansas. If they were going to include Jonesboro and Paragould and all that good stuff in a tornado watch, they would have done it on the last watch. Emma, it's about to storm in Hot Springs. You're under a severe thunderstorm warning now. If your youth stuff is later tonight, like in another couple of hours, I think you'll be okay. But I wouldn't have any kiddos outside right now or anytime soon because there's some pretty strong storms are moving in to Hot Springs and Garland County imminently. It'll move through pretty quick, but you've got plenty of rain and thunder behind it. Boonville and Magazine, yep, just rainstorms moving through now. No severe thunderstorm warning. Caitlin says, was there a confirmed tornado in Grannis? No. I've seen the reports about the damage, but there was never a confirmed tornado or a warning or anything like that to my knowledge. Star City's in a tornado watch. Johnson County. Storms are moving through Johnson County now. It looks like the worst of it is to your south, but we'll keep an eye on it. You're under a tornado watch until 10 p.m. in Johnson County, but I think the threat for tornadoes in Johnson County will be over pretty quick, within the next hour or two. You're good, Ashley. Yep. Severe weather risk in northwest Arkansas is pretty much gone. Caitlin says, should I prepare for a possible tornado in Donaldson? We have storms moving that way now. We don't have any tornado warnings, just severe thunderstorm warnings at this time. So I think you're okay for the time being, but definitely don't want to be outside with these storms moving in because they are stronger. I can show you guys too. We can look at. Let me pull a model up real quick, and I'll show you guys kind of what this will look like through the next couple of hours for those of you who are asking about specific locations. So this is. I feel like this might be a hair behind, but we'll show it anyways. So. This is kind of where we are now as far as storms, like storms moving to Hot Springs, Russellville, southwest Arkansas. This is going to continue through the evening. And you can see those storms move into central Arkansas, north central Arkansas, south central Arkansas, here over the next few hours. And eventually they move into eastern Arkansas too. You can see even the model sort of kind of kills them a little bit. Notice the red colors kind of start to fade. And shouldn't just depend on reflectivity if you're trying to forecast, but just based on this, I think that thunderstorms will lose some intensity as they move into southeast and eastern Arkansas late tonight, with plenty of rain to go around. Once that initial line passes you, the severe weather risk is over. Looking at instability, there is instability. I mean, you can see values near 1,000, 1,700, 2,000. So as the storms move east tonight, they're going to have thunderstorm fuel to work with. So I can't just rule out. I can't just rule out areas of the state, that are downstream of this. So if you live near Little Rock or in eastern Arkansas or southern Arkansas or, wherever it might be, I can't give you an absolute of like, hey, there's going to be absolutely no tornadoes, because the downstream environment ahead of these storms will support some thunderstorms. Some may be strong. So that's kind of where we're at on that. But for the moment, I do think the biggest concern is wind, strong winds, and maybe some hail. So, guys, based off of how things are evolving right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I feel comfortable. I mean, if you're watching this and you haven't been impacted by storms yet, if thunderstorms move into where you live and you get a severe thunderstorm warning on your phone, it's going to be for stronger winds and hail. So make sure you stay inside. Don't be driving around. Stay away from windows, that sort of thing. If we have tornado warnings, I'll hop back on, do live coverage that way. But I think I can cover this on Facebook and kind of keep people in the loop without having to be on live coverage for hours, just repeating myself on these same severe thunderstorm warnings where it doesn't have to be as detailed as a tornado warning. So, guys, I really appreciate you watching. Hopefully I don't see you again tonight. Hopefully everything stays under control, but if it doesn't, I'll be back here and with you every step of the way. So